let's get this party started. Alright, hello chat. Welcome to another Link to the Past Randomizer CrossKeys tournament. We got BrewersFanJP versus TW. This is week 2. Both runners at 0-1, losing their first week races, so they're looking for that redemption. Let's see what kind of seed we got today. Nice little bottle right off the bat. Nice little bit of green goo. I would just use it right now, and then you have full magic.
Is this a pretty normal starting route for CrossKeys these days? Just fake flippering to go to the witch and check that entrance? Or what?
It's like a combination of that plus, I guess setting up for Houlihan as well.
I guess you could, sure. Because I've definitely seen it from time to time, but I feel like it's become more and more common as time has gone on to open your game this way.
Ooh, we found the dam.
Really nicely in this case, though. The dam's one of those things that you're always kind of looking for. It's a really nice one to find early rather than 2 hours in when you still need swamp.
Somebody that's experienced a go mode find the damn seed before that took like 30 minutes and a full clear. Yes, it's really nice to get this out of the way. The only time this would be bad is if this was door random. You don't want to lower the water for whatever reason. Or, you know, if hints are on and you want to like go get the hint in swamp and you don't have the flippers, but that's... I'm talking about some really off-the-wall options.
That's a very specific situation, I
right.
suppose.
It's like something you'd see out of a Plando or something.
Oh god, we don't do Plandos.
Yeah, the only downside about this route is if this is Kakariko Well, which it doesn't happen to be that, but if it was, then it's like, I don't have a bomb. But,
JP
it is
a
nice.
little bit of trouble setting up that fake flipper, though.
That fake flipper is the other thing that I'm not sure about this route, is that it's very specific to get it. A lot of times I will end up just bombing myself against the screen transition to have a better chance of setting it up. But it can be a real pain.
Very strange, and maybe I'm actually wrong, but it's either in that spot there or in the Dark World that I think it only works from one screen transition to the other. It does not work both ways like it would down near Lake Hylia. Or it's just a very temperamental setup for
it's just that one right there is just weird. There's just something slightly different about it, it seems. Alright, and TW gonna go take the south route to grab some bombs. Gets one, gets two. Wow. That never happens.
No, the 50-50 RNG right in TW's favor for that.
The rare sighting. I'm going to be running a map tracker as well, so I can just mark where dungeon locations are, as well as checks like Spike Cave, which we can't do right now. So. Yeah, it looks like JP's going to be taking a south route here. This might... Oh, going to go immediately check what he gets from the dam. Kind of like that.
I like it. It's not bad.
we happen to see both sides of Super Bunny Cave. Yeah, that's great.
Huh. Not a very helpful connector either. In this case, it's not going to get you anywhere.
You know, I'm a big fan.
Right away is always nice.
Big fan of finding the other side of Super Bunny, because there's nothing worse than having to go through Super Bunny multiple times just to like route through the seed. Like if it ends up being like your route to like, you know, Floating Island or something, somewhere up on Death Mountain.
It's brutal. And TW actually teach me something here that I didn't know. I knew that like from the top of Laser Bridge you could fall into the pit and have iframes to get past the top laser. Apparently you can do the same thing on the bottom, coming up from the bottom. I didn't realize there was enough time there. Could be handy. Of course, getting shot in the face with a laser still kills you.
Yeah. The Boots' laser skips can be a bit of a tricky timing, especially when you have a hardcat beetle chasing you. So, yeah. Of course, those checks aren't in logic anyway without either Kane, Verna, Cape, or the Mirror Shield in this mode particularly.
And looks like TW's just going to have to come back for those middle two chests at some point. JP finding Hookshot Cave, or was that...
That was at Agana's Cave.
That was at Agana, Hookshot Stop.
So, can't check the other side of that without bombs, but, you know, at this point, I don't know if you're really looking for those kind of connectors yet. Does find that
I had no
Sank
idea what
is
tier triple is.
Sank is at the uncle. And as part of the CrossKeys experience is just discovering where all your drop downs are and finding the good ones and hoping that Ganon isn't at like Lumberjack or Vanilla. Though
Yeah,
I
I
don't
actually
know.
don't mind that, because you know that you have to beat that respective dungeon. Then, like, that's just not even a question. You know you're going to do it at some point. There's no
True.
ifs.
It's like if you see a required item at Lumberjack and a non-CrossKeys,
Mhm.
it's like, okay, I have to do this, so it's fine. It's just
Right.
when you have like Ganon at Lumberjack, then it's like, all right, I'm ready for Castle Tower Key to be my go mode.
Which, I mean, it is what it is.
It is.
JP not getting as lucky with these 50-50 bombs. Got one there, or just one?
Yeah, he's 2 for 4 so far.
Well, I guess that is 50-50 then, isn't it? 3 for 6. How about that? Still
3
a
for
50%
6.
rate.
Wow. Math checks out.
I'm with it. I actually really like where escape is in this case. Even if you don't have bombs right away, it's actually easy to get back to. There's a small key there. I think that's just glove lock, though. Or hammer lock, sorry.
Yeah, that could be an important small key, so make sure if you're one of these runners to keep that in mind. And then JP having a laugh. By the way, chat, one more question for y'all. How does my amazing co-host sound? How does DT sound? Does he sound okay? Volume-wise. I know he sounds great. Quality-wise, I'm talking about volume.
We had a dark room at the blacksmith. Can't say, of course, which one it was. We couldn't see. I wonder if JP's going to try to go through all of Laser Bridge. You can at least get the beetle out of the way and stun it with a bomb, but...
Yeah, it'd be tough to make that call, though, when you're so short on bombs. But, you know, maybe he took that opportunity to lure the hard hat beetle down there so he can get some time to get these bootsless skips.
Mm-hmm.
We got a bumper cave at the left snitch in Kakariko. Oh! I don't know how JP managed to do that without getting shot. That's nuts.
That's a vanilla well.
That's nice.
That's fine. And TW has one bomb, which is all that you need, so...
Still no
Go
Ganon
get
inside.
5 more items.
Oh, just mistimed that one just barely. Compass. I'm looking to see if we can get some more items in here. There's a sword. It's a good find.
Sword is good. It's tough with these laser skips to remember that, like, it's really only the front part of the laser that actually has a hitbox, but because of how quickly it comes out, it's just difficult to time walking past it. Because, like, if you're too far up on that ledge, like, you can take just enough time getting past it that you'll still get shot no matter what.
Oh.
I mean,
right in
or
the
that can
ear.
happen.
Right in the ear. That's gotta hurt. Well, there's still one more item in that laser bridge that we haven't seen from either player, so could still be something huge for JP if he manages to pull this off. I missed what the 4th item was in the Kakariko well on TW's side.
I did as well. We got a small key from Meyer for JP right now, though, in that last unknown spot.
Looks like based on his tracker, it might have been a GT small. Alright, JP makes it through, only a few deaths, walks away with a shield, a Meyer small, heart piece, and a heart container. So nothing...
That's not bad. I mean, I don't know if it's universal or not. I like to actually get everything there, like, if I can, even if it does take me a few deaths. I don't like leaving locations hanging in a mode like this. I mean, at least the good thing is that, like, Laser Bridge isn't in a bad spot. Like, it's easy enough to get back to, but... And we have the Fairy Fountain drop down, so that's one of the ones that you kind of want to see at the Lumberjack, or eliminate, or process of elimination, put it at the Pyramid, like, just because it's a useless one. You're not getting items out of that place.
Right. So, aside from TR at the library, did we really see any other dungeons in Kakariko? That
We have not seen another dungeon yet.
doesn't happen very often. Usually Kakariko's stacked. Oh, we got Castle Tower in the woods.
The one that I'm most notorious for forgetting to write down.
I mean, does it really exist? Who knows?
And when you need it to and you need to find it, it's kind of a problem.
I nearly forgot that TW picked up a sword, and I was like, you can't do this room with only 3 bombs, you fool! But I was the fool.
Nice to get a little bit of a double spin there, but even these spins are only doing a single hit worth. It's still going to take 8 in total to kill these
Yeah.
guys.
It's still faster. Just go for the 8 slashes like you were heading to Zelda still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even targeting them one at a time.
It's one of those just weird scenarios where the game doesn't know how to respond to you having a different weapon sometimes. Or, well, it's mostly just the difference between Fighter Sword and Master Sword at some points where the game's just like, yeah, I don't know how to give this any value, so we'll just make it not as strong. Particularly like that and like Armos Knights.
Damage tables in this game try to follow a rule, and then honestly, I think most of the time they do pretty okay, but then you just get weird situations like that, and it's just like, whatever.
There's been several times I've like trying to fight Armos doing a particular way, and someone in chat's like, you're doing, not the damage you think you're doing. Like, oh, right. Good point.
Oh, like if you're doing like Master Sword slashes instead of sword beams, isn't sword beams are actually better there.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
It's a weird one.
Sword beams. The amount of times in like CrossKeys or Door Rando that I get to an Armos fight and I'm like so ecstatic that I have Berta or sword beams. It's too dang high.
I like Burno there because it actually hits pretty quickly, even if it's kind of low damage. It does all right.
It's surprisingly effective. Ooh, nice. There's a hammer.
Speaking of effective.
That was at the Lumberjack house,
I believe so. And the Lumberjack dropdown was Uncle himself, so that was just a free walk-in, walk-out 2 items.
Yeah, and it had a TR small and bombos, so TW finding some good items right off the bat.
Save and quit right there. I think I might have actually walked over to the escape and at least seen what that dropdown was, because we still have that and Ganon, so we don't know which one's actually where.
True. I guess wanting to save time, not having the glove in case it... Well, what other dropdowns do we still haven't seen yet? The Woods? The Lost Woods, I think, was one of them.
The Lost Woods one. So, I mean, escape's got to be either an item or Ganon. And I guess you can't get it if it is an item right now, but I don't know. I guess we can get that knowledge later.
That's one of the fun things about like inverted CrossKeys is the ability to go up to the castle and see what the Ganon dropdown is, because it adds like a little door on the left of the main entrance, which is kind of cheeky. So you can get all your information without having to like get. Well, I guess you would just always have all your information. You can always rule out what's the Ganon spot based on everything else. We're heading into the back of Escape on TW's side, while JP's going to be following up to the north and probably dipping into Castle Tower, as well as finding his bombos and hammer from the uncle.
Pretty normal opening, pretty mundane. CrossKeys first 15 minutes or so, just scout some things out and get some info.
We got our first big key
for Meyer. Sure, why not? That's cool. Moonpearl's cool.
Pearl.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. We haven't really found any connectors or really taken any connectors leading us to a potential Dark World yet, so...
The only one that we know of is that dark room at the blacksmith, and it's just... Where does that go? We don't know, but
yeah,
it is a connector at least.
Could also just be a connector that leads to the mountain save point back in Kakariko, so...
Mm-hmm. That's true.
It could also be the one that leads us up to Death Mountain. I have a tendency to at least see if it's that, because just getting Death Mountain access and activating that save and quit point is pretty beneficial.
Mm-hmm. The problem is that when both runners found it, they didn't have any way to really track where they were to know if they were about to jump off a ledge. So...
Ding, 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 ding.
Like that.
I can't hear you over these dings. I'm sorry. JP also
the dinner bell.
Going for the many spins.
Spin to win.
Spin to win. In case anyone's wondering, this audio is JP's. We're listening to the Cadence of Hyrule MSU pack or soundtrack. If you've never played that game, you should. It's Crypt of the Necrodancer plus Zelda, and it's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with it when it first came out. I remember Swerve and I were doing like speedruns of it for a while, trying to get that sub 30. It was a cool game. I should play it again sometime. Alright, unless TW goes... Okay, TW's going east, which means we're going to get some new info. Finally.
That's kind of one of my annoyances about this mode is like deciding from the dam to go east or west, because to the west you've got a lift rock, to the east you've got a couple more entrances that you can do without a lift rock, but then there's still a lift rock. I don't like going to these areas in CrossKeys unless I can fully clear them, but you kind of need to.
Oh, interesting. TW taking that connector that we found at Mini Molden that connects right back on over. This might be going back in to finish out the 2 items on Laser Bridge. Looking like.
Oh yeah. Bit more health, bit more defense against the beetle, so that's fine.
It's rough when it's like I don't really want to go to Ice Rock Cave without a glove. You don't want to isolate that one entrance because you never know if you're gonna get a flute. Is the thing.
Mm-hmm. And it's such a long walk, right? But at the same time, there's still Mini Maldorm Cave and 2 other entrances over there that could have your intended progression or pathing, or just some relatively nice items anyway. Okay, so escape is the item, so we actually have a vanilla Ganon is what this looks like.
Vanilla Ganon. It's fun. That's kind of good, especially as someone that just lost a ladder race yesterday to a GT climb. It's nice when GT climb is just required. Speaking of required, we got a Kana Samaria here out of the Pyramid Fairy. Check at Hylia Fortune Teller. So now, if TW wanted to, could go back to that laser bridge and backtrack through T-Rock, which sounds dangerous.
You know what? With a couple of hearts, it's actually very, very safe. You go onto that platform, you just hold up, and you might get hit by the fire bar once or twice. Like it's really not bad.
And the flippers,
wow. Okay.
Dude, how often do you find Mimic Cave and have the hammer? Like, come on. That never happens.
No, it doesn't. JP picked up the Moon Pearl as well, so... Still, of course, no real indication of where our main Dark World access is going to be from. For all we know, it could actually just be a glove in the near future, which...
Yeah, true.
Probably one of the most valuable things early in CrossKeys. I feel like they'd have a tendency to show up later in most cases.
They're so nice just because they do eliminate some, isolation of checks. It's nice to get it early, as early as possible. I did not catch what was at the hobo. It looked like a nothing, or maybe even a man.
I do not think it was anything we need to worry about, but I could be wrong.
Vanilla bottle? Oh, okay.
Oh.
Thank you. Thanks, Chad. So a nothing item, got it. Well, we did find the witch's hut, so we could stock up on some potions. Though you're wanting to save your money as long as possible. Ooh, okay. Desert
There's a dungeon. Finally found one.
I write them down as just trees. That's it. I know what I'm talking about when I just write trees. Yeah, I'm gonna be referring to a lot of locations based on like my standard tracking methods when I do these CrossKeys.
I'll try to stick with Willard terminology then, because I've got my own name for that place.
Oh, we also found more desert. Desert, right?
JP not gonna go through any of it right this moment. Probably not a bad thing if he winds up going toward the eastern area afterward and just sees the front entrance anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of on a one-track path right now. Seeing what else he can find.
I think with CrossKeys, for a while, you kind of need to have that sort of discipline for a bit. Like, it's so easy to get distracted by locations, but then it can just send you down a completely different path, and then you never get back to what you were trying to do for like an hour.
It's a thing that I think I definitely used to do, where every time I find like a dungeon with or a multi-entrance something, I would generally check all the entrances, but now it's more like, you know what, let me just make sure I get everything I can done first, and then I'll worry about that, because you can start to eliminate the possibilities, because you don't want to go all the way out of your way to do a connector and then it just kicks you out at like Desert Rite or something.
Desert Rite or like King's Tomb. Like it just depends. Like for me, like can I get back to this original location super quickly if I come out of a really bad spot from another exit?
Right.
And I kind of weigh those things when I make those decisions, and it's always a little different.
It's kind of funny that we just immediately found all 3 entrances of Desert Main, one after another. And they're all in the light world, and therefore useless. Let's see what we got at Saha's Closet, or Saha's Hut, here up in the East Palace area. Just some...
You know what? That's a timely bomb refill.
Yeah, that's a good call.
It's not bad.
So let's see. We saw both sides of Super Bunny. We saw both sides of Dancing Lady. Can't forget that one. We haven't really seen too many other connectors aside from out of logic stuff without the lamp. So maybe we'll find like Paradox Cave soon or something. Oh, it's the Wind Waker part of the song.
That was nice.
Yes.
JP actually going deliberately back here to just see what the bottle refill is. I don't mind this.
Gets a fairy for his trouble. And we find the front of TR here at Eastern Palace. Can get 1 item in here. This could be a good find.
Could actually get 2 if we go up to Chain Chomps. I don't know if that... I'm sure it's not in Logic, because Logic is weird anyway, but...
Just a compass.
I wonder if TW is going to try it.
He might. Yeah, because if he wasn't, he'd be Death Warping, right? Nope, he's gonna walk back. Okay.
That's just gonna leave. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever really checked. If I hadn't found like another entrance to Chomps, I don't know. Chomps are kind of scary with this loadout. We've seen so many. I mean, hell, in a recent restream, I think we had someone struggling a bit getting past Chomps. Oh, okay. I didn't even notice that there was a big key on the torch there. So that's good to know. Also, JP reading hints for some reason. I don't know. Maybe he's used to maybe he's used to like mystery races or something. Because I know normal CrossKeys ladder does not have hints on.
No, it does not.
This was
this was Flute 5 up to the top of Hookshot Cave.
That's a really good find.
Yeah, that's actually, like, if there's a connector to Dark Death Mountain, that's one of my favorites, especially once you get Mirror. Like, you can just easily get to an item. You can get to the top of the east side, Light or Dark World. It's generally really nice.
Yeah, the only shame is he doesn't have a glove to check Hookshot Cave entrance right there. But okay, I'm gonna drop down, check these 2 spots, see what we find. It's just a fairy fountain. And... wow. A whole lot of nothing. Unfortunate.
None of that was any good.
Ew. I mean, this seed could maybe force you to go through that connector to then go to West Death Mountain in the Dark World, avoiding the Lionels, to find a useful entrance over there. And TW might be going back, unless this is Zora stuff.
Zora stuff maybe to Ice Rod Cave afterward? Did JP go down to Ice Rod Cave area, or did he just... No, he did not. Okay.
He did Waterfall Ferry. I think he checked what was on... I don't know if he checked what was on Zora's Ledge or not. Yeah, a bit of a weird seed. Not really giving us too much access to the rest of the game. TW still needs to go down to like the desert area if he doesn't find something better along the way. Well, he doesn't need to.
One thing I'm actually curious about, what is the logic count for to bypass the Lionels on Dark Death Mountain to go west? Because there's 2 entrances over there that we can walk to.
I don't think the game cares about you in any sort of way.
Given that inverted is a mode, yeah, I would agree with that. But I don't know for sure.
Because, you know, as long as you don't touch a Lionel, it can only do... Its projectile attack only does 2 hearts of damage, so the game's like, yeah, you can get hit by that and then just, you know, deboost through the Lionel. You're fine. Don't worry about it.
JP just gonna leave in front of TR?
Nope.
No, there's an item there. Go get it.
So yeah, we have... Pretty much we just have the 2 entrances at Ice Rod Cave. And those 2 entrances up on Death Mountain. In Logic.
Yeah, and it would. I mean, at this point, with the sword being able to see where you are, I would personally be very tempted by that dark room, or if nothing else, to walk back through. Because we saw the old man rescue house, right?
Yeah.
Or did we not? I don't know. I,
The
like,
mountain
even walking
save
back
and
through
quick
that.
point.
Yeah. So like, there's a
So-
couple of relatively okay things to do, I guess, out of logic as well. Just depends on what's closest and what your preference is. But these are probably the two immediate checks that you do.
Oh, GT. Okay.
Well,
Well, we can get
3
2
things.
items. 3. Oh yeah, because we can do tile room as well, and we can see
We
what's on the
can do
torch.
tile.
Hey, there's
the
the
boots, okay.
boots.
So that opens up a big key on Desert Torch immediately, which honestly, I think if you remember it right now, you go get it before you even risk forgetting it.
Yeah, and that opens up a couple more bonk locations as well. We have the usual, the standard bonk rocks, and then we have the Link bonk rocks next to his house.
You know, out of logic, that'll actually give us like all of left side GT as well. I think there's just a map chest that's still in logic, without hookshot, but there's a lot of stuff here that we can get if we ignore logic for a moment.
Oh, I'd absolutely be going to Randa Room from this point.
Oh yeah. I'd probably even go as far as Bob's chest. I wouldn't even try Ice Armos at this point, but
No. Oh,
like not
well.
Never mind.
Oh no.
You can still get the map chest in Stelphos room.
The other thing
and
is
we didn't
now.
even see what's on the torch yet, so.
Yeah, maybe there's something on the torch over there. JP also making the choice to drop down here and finding, unfortunately, nothing. So, but yeah, JP's gonna need to make his way over to Ice Rock Cave so he can get his boots, and then he can start having fun. That means he does have his TR info, assuming he checked it. Yeah, the bonk setup to get to Stalfos room is pretty nice if you do the bomb jump right here at the beginning. But you can also bonk over here and then bomb jump north. Come on, TW. It's just like the one in Tower of Hera.
Got a little stuck there for a moment. Okay. So perhaps not as familiar with bomb jumps, and that's just fine. It's a weird room because you don't always know like what you can bomb jump to or like what you can bonk to within logic.
Yeah, and the thing is, the double firebar room is logically, it's not in logic because we don't have enough keys, but you know, it is in logic with just boots and keys.
It is accessible. Red boomerang, C-shaped house, that ice rod cave, that's negligible. JP actually going through Hookshot Cave, that's right, we do have this connector as well.
And it takes us
to
the Dark World.
There we go, that's...
So unfortunately,
in the Dark World, so.
JP is going to miss out on those boots for a while, though.
Perhaps. I mean, unless he finds more forks in the road here, there's not a lot that he can actually do. He's got the... Well... There's a handful of things, but he'll run out quickly if it comes up down to it.
Ooh, small key to pod. Was that at Link's house, I think? There's an ice palace at Swamp.
That's a nice palace at Swamp.
He can do quite a bit of this, actually.
Yeah, Stan's having a glove. It's not unreasonable.
He also does have a key so that he could Icebreaker right out the gate. And, not get stuck on the right side. Because, you know, he doesn't have, as you say, he doesn't have a glove, so he can't get the small key under the rock, but he can get quite a bit done.
Won't be able to get the chest in that H room either, but... There are things available here, and some of them are in logic, so no, I don't mind this at all.
So at this point, I gotta assume that this is where the game wants you to go then, huh? Not necessarily Ice Palace, nice blue mail, but this part of the Dark World, this connector here.
That seems to be our best lead toward more explanation, at least. Exploration. I'm sorry, not explanation. We are the explainers. They are the explorers.
that is why we are here. All right, TW is going to check the backside of Mountain Rescue, so let's see if we get some new information, or if this just takes us to that other dark room that we saw in Kakariko. Big
Yeah,
key
keep
to
a swamp for JP.
Meh.
Good to have when you're going through a swamp. It's not one of the ones you
Oh.
want to find, and that's... Okay, well, Blacksmith Dark Room is not that one then, so we know that that's going to lead us somewhere.
And this does put TW on the path towards getting to that Dark World, and we'll get to see what's in the first chest of Hookshot Cave, so...
Yeah.
Putting those boots to good use right away. Who knows? This could be the intended progression of those boots. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? 10 arrows. Okay, I take it back. So JP just has, what, this and Iced Tea Room left?
Correct.
Ew,
Smoky
gross.
Hera. You know what? I'd rather have it the first time I go through Hera than beat Hera and find it an hour later.
Yeah.
I'm fine with this.
Doing Hera basement early feels much worse, or a lot less worse than doing it, 2 hours into the seed.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if TW's gonna make the same choice. Nope, totally
Nope.
opposite decision here.
Gonna miss out on that blue mail. But the other two items were just kind of fetch quest. Well, the other two items only led to one item: the Hera basement, or the Hera small key, and the swamp big chest.
Mm-hmm. And the small
key
key for
TR.
TR is nice.
Hopefully not the payouts JP was looking for. Now here, the one thing that could be big is, maybe JP finds GT later, but goes in there with, like, the Fire Rod, or the Hookshot, or, something else that's going to let him get more stuff while he's in there. Hey, GT's...
Yeah, maybe. There's several items that, if you have that going in, as opposed to what TW had, that'll open up considerably more.
Yeah, I mean, that is the heart of the CrossKeys experience.
Yeah, and honestly, with, let's use the Fire Rod example. We still have that green potion, so getting all the way to Ice Armos, that fight's not so bad if you've got a tank and a half of magic and Fire Rod.
True.
It's significantly more workable.
Still not great, but it's definitely better. Chicken Hut here at the Dark World Hylia for a small key to Skullwoods. I'm finding all these small keys.
Okay.
I guess the question is, what are you looking for next? What would you want to see next? Probably that glove.
Yeah, I guess if you had to choose. I mean, there's obviously the list of the Y items that are just, I mean, glove's an A item, but whatever, you get my point. That are always good to find. But I don't know. For me, like, if I'm 33 minutes into a CrossKey seed, I'm happy to find basically anything. Like
Anything that you can put on your tracker. Yeah.
Yeah, like that first hour, 45 minutes hour is all about just like mapping things out and just finding everything you can. Then you try to piece together a plan. Here's some dungeon knowledge. Eastern and Turtle Rock are 5-6.
Eastern T-Rock. And that big bomb there beside Dark World Bonk Rocks. That's good info. That's good info. That one I put as DW Bonk, because I have formatting that turns anytime I type DW, it makes it bold. Yay, conditional formatting. Anyway, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, like, the problem with like finding bomb shop is like updating your tracker and then forgetting to write down where the bomb shop is.
Oh yeah, classic.
I'm guilty of that all the time. It sucks.
It's definitely happened to everyone where you look back at your notes and you're like, wait, did I find that? I thought I found that. I didn't write it down. Uh-oh. I've definitely VOD dived in a race before. I think it happened in like a Dorando race or something. I was VOD diving for a swamp palace that I actually never found. So I confused the heck out of myself somehow.
You fool.
I goofed real bad.
That's funny though. Yeah, I mean, at least that's finding the bomb shop's a pretty easy case. Because like, as long as you can see that you've got two crystals that are suddenly red, you just find the spot in your tracker where they're still not red, and like it's somewhere between the two.
Alright, DT, where are we going now? What do we got?
Looks like JP is gonna go to Dark Ice Rod Cave area.
Or... Yeah, now, what JP needs to find would be, like, the mirror over here.
Right in this area.
That would be huge for him. Because, you know, it's never fun to find out that, oh yeah, my opponent got these boots, like, you know, 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now, looks like TW's heading back into the Dark World, looks like.
And obviously boots make a difference. The longer that one person goes with the other not having them, the more of an impact that has. But it's still not the only factor, but obviously you want to keep that difference as small as you can. Yeah, there's nothing here. Dark Ice Rod area is kind of a bust for the moment, but now we just got that one rock available once we find a glove. It's like, do I really want to go back for one thing?
Right, and if you do, it's going to be like, I'm going to do it in the Dark World, and I'm wait until I have the mirror so I can just knock out all that at once. So we do have Dark Potion Shop and the pod area. We haven't seen... Well, actually, yeah, we have the hammer, so we can get down to the pyramid from here for JP. It looked like TW popped out or checked the Dark World trees area. It's like trees, but in the Dark World, you know, that everyone knows where that is. But then came back down to do the south Dark World loop over to Digging Game.
So we'll get pretty simultaneous pyramid checks then from both the runners.
Let's see what we got. A bee! Where'd that bee come from?
Nope.
$20.
20 bucks. Speaking of 20 bucks, at least both runners have enough to get into pod. That's another thing that's a bummer. Sometimes you just don't have the money and you're like in the pod area and you're like 10 rupees short and it's like, what do I do now?
Yeah, I also noticed they both went out of their way and bought, they both picked up a bomb upgrade as well. Here's Hyrule Castle right at the, what I refer to as the Dark World Saha location. It's close enough.
That's what I call it, Dark Saha.
You could also call it the Dark World Broccoli if you want. Oh, there's their other mail upgrade. Nice. So JP's gonna have red mail. Pod House. Okay, that's
at
a
the
good.
Same time, TW not really missing out on anything from Ice Palace for the moment. There's a TR key, but for the moment, that's not really going to help with anything.
Well, the good news is we don't have to worry about a Hyrule Castle small or whatever. None of that nonsense since we already did the back of Escape.
Then I guess JP's choosing not to go through Escape for the moment.
Maybe wanting to check out this other stuff first so that he could eventually take the connectors in Hyrule Castle.
Yeah. I mean, that goes back to like that whole fork thing that I was talking about. Like, how far down the rabbit hole do you want to go and then risk not coming back here?
For sure. The name of the place with the trees? Wouldn't you like to know? Oh, I hate it. Thanks for the beans, Rambler. For paying for that. Horrible, but well-executed pun. Very good. All right, what else we got in here? 2 compasses and a blue mail.
Was expensive.
For anyone just popping in, the boots were in Hope Room and GT, which was over in the Ice Rod Cave area. Place that JP has not been to yet. He has been to Dark Ice Rod Cave area. Got nothing, unfortunately. Alright, let's check. So gonna skip out on the Dark Cross for now. JP finding Mini Moldering Cave, and we find our... the other side. So if we had gone from Floating Island over to here, we would have found Hyrule Castle. It would have worked out.
They've got one more entrance to see. That'll be funny if it's the other castle.
Oh my gosh, that'd be incredible.
You didn't go through all of them yet, right? Just the one?
Just right in Maine, I think.
I'll tell you what'll make me laugh is if it's the other Hyrule Castle exit.
Ooh, that's a really good find.
That's excellent. Oh my god, it is.
Oh my god. Wow, dude. How'd you know?
Oh, now where do you go? Back to the pod area. That glove's awesome. So we got like all of Outcast. We've got like good full Dark World access available now. The world is pretty clear and ours to explore.
You know, that's kind of nice getting all the Hyrule Castle entrances and all the desert entrances just out of the way. Well, aside from like Desert Boss, just don't have to worry about those connectors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hate leaving those hanging. So the sooner you can map out all 3 of them, all 6 of them, I guess, between the 2 dungeons, it's a good day.
I can't believe it actually was the other side of Hyrule. That's real funny.
Everyone's right once in a while. Like I can just keep calling out entrances until it gets to that one. And
So TW needs to obviously Death Warp out of Dark Cross after getting his whatever's in here. Okay,
that
never
mirror?
mind.
How about
He doesn't
not
need
Death
to
Warping, Willard?
Death Warp at all. I take it back.
He is
Wow.
anyway though. I guess for the health refill, that's probably fine.
Yeah, it's
That
probably
went
a good call.
reasonably quick.
And then head up to check the other parts of the pod area. But now that you have the mirror, you're gonna go into Death Mountain.
Yeah, we're not doing anything else aside from this.
So this
Get the
is
old man save and quit, and old man's house was where?
In
Somewhere in
Kakariko.
Kakariko, right?
Yeah.
So that's like one of the most convenient spots for it.
So this is good for JP. You know, given the fact that he's a little, missed out on the boots for a bit, he's going to hold on to this glove for a while TW might miss out on it for... I mean, who knows when he's going back to pod area. It's really easy to put off the pod opening. Oh, yeah, you're right. For the record, chat, I'm running tracker, so if I miss anything, just yell at me. Thank you. Both the runners on their restreams are using, non-standard trackers, so I'm doing it myself. You get to save the old guy. That's good. Get another bee.
Another bee.
Oh, JP.
JP set for very slow death
Oh,
warp.
no. That is unfortunate. You know, this game could really benefit from being able to turn off armor.
I mean, there's certain modes where that does happen. Hey, we got pod. Where was this? Old man's top or something like that?
I call it Mountain Save A, so MSA. But yeah, it's the mountain save point.
Okay, I just call that old man. I don't know, different names, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I've gotten to the point where I'm trying to reduce it down to as few letters as possible, so I just put MSA, and then the back part is MSB.
Okay, that's fair.
Which, without context, someone would be like, the hell does that mean? But I know what it means, and that's all that matters at the end of the day.
That's all that matters for your race. There's big key for Hera. So that's actually, I mean, if we had a fire source, we could full clear Hera once we find it.
JP saw Crystal, Pod, and Swamp. Interesting. Thank you for the update.
That's 4 crystals that we know of then, because the 5-6 were neither of those.
Yeah, TW did find the Big Bomb shop behind Boots and was able to see what the Pyramid Fairy crystals are. So it does have that info. Yeah, the real question is, when is JP going to make his way back to... I mean, I could kind of see him maybe rush or go back to the Ice Rock Cave area with his lovely glove, but not anytime soon.
But this is actually fine though, because it's still a wealth of not dungeons, entrances though for JP to check conveniently. And I know right now he's probably thinking, I haven't seen the left exit of the castle, but soon enough he's going to find that anyway, and then it's going to be a sigh of relief.
Now the real question is, where the heck is our lamp? To put that mirror.
Oh, that'll show up like an hour after we finish, and someone goes back into the sea to try and find it.
It's probably in like Chomps or something in TR. Ooh,
Oh,
Paradox Cave.
Maybe it's here.
Which entrance was this? Was this...
This was Spectacle left.
Okay.
You can figure out what I mean by that.
Oh, I know.
You're smart.
I call it... I call it Kiki skip or Kiki. So it's like something you use in glitch modes where you can do the little bomb clip, I think, into the wall to get to the pod area or something. TR big, nice find. Yeah, lamp up GT climb. We're a bit ways away from that. But then again, it's not impossible. Nice bomb. I just
didn't do anything.
Didn't care. Full game. Bump this. Let's see what else we got in here. $20. Piece. $20. Ice rod.
Ice rod. Okay.
Well,
it saved itself a bit, but not a very overwhelming cave.
Especially knowing that TR Rock is a crystal, it's nice to get that ice rod out of the way. Probably hoping for a few more goodies in there, but you know, you take what you can get.
Oh.
All right.
What's interesting is that we're actually just a fire rod away from being able to go and beat Trinex. Not logically, but
that's a nice find. Bottom of Paradox Cave leads to a bumper ledge. We're gonna mirror and find King's Tomb.
Another item, a lot more Dark World to explore. I think TW is pretty much done with the west side of the mountain too, so...
Yep. So I wonder if he'll just go ahead and do this, go back in and check the other Paradox Cave entrance. I would just... Personally, I would bail on the Paradox Cave entrance, but he might also want to go up and check, like, Hera.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, that's a tough decision to make. I think if it was, like, if JP were to find that right now and have the glove... Yeah, fine, go back into Paradox, because you can easily get back to the Kakariko portal and do traditional Dark World anyway. But TW probably had to think about that a little bit, just a different situation. That's a bad exit, though.
Good old desert raid. It's good to get it out of the way, though.
Yeah, and I mean, finding that right there just makes this an easy decision. Now you know exactly where you're going to go.
Oh, and he is just going to go back, so... See ya, Hera. Yeah, I personally would have just bailed on checking the other Paradox Cave entrance and just, you know, assume I'll find it along the way at some point. Alright. Hey, there's a Tower of Hera.
It's a Crystal Tower of Hera as well, so that's
how about that?
Piece of knowledge.
So, does have the big key. Can beat it. Does have a sword, hammer. No fire source, no small key that we saw on JP side. I don't remember where that small key was that JP found.
No temptation of leaving anything behind here because we're just going to do all that we can, and that's it.
And we'll finally get a crystal on the board for one of our runners. Uh-oh. Oh, right. It was the Ice Palace dip. Yeah, ugh. It was like a Swamp Big and a Hera Small. And an armor upgrade, I think.
There was TR Small in there.
Was there TR? Okay.
Yeah, Swamp Big... I don't know. I'm not even going to try to remember it.
We'll see it eventually. Maybe. TW hitting the switch so that they can grab some hearts once they get up here. And seeing as they didn't do the bomb jump on left side GT, I'm assuming that they're not going to do it here either.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. If there's bomb jumps to know, this one's probably more common than anything in GT anyway, but I guess we are going to get an attempt at it. Let's see.
That's
good. It's
kind of funny. He didn't do the one in left side GT, because it's literally the same thing. But it's a Thieves Town big. Yeah, that's a good find. We don't know if it's a crystal or not, but yeah. If we do find Thieves Town, we could beat it. Looks like JP is going to actually backtrack all the way up back to Hera. Or maybe he still had more stuff to do here on Death Mountain.
That's possible as well. I didn't see how he routed it, but more route divergence is not a bad thing. The two items that these runners are really going to be missing out on for a bit are just on complete opposite ends of the world from where they're at right now. Being the boots in the Ice Rod area for JP, and that glove in, I think that was the pod entrance, that was Mini Maldorm Cave.
Yeah. That's going to be the biggest thing, I think. Oh.
And there's that other entrance for JP, so he's like, okay, fine, I don't have to worry about this now, it's just right here.
Now, TW also did have, I think, the Dark World Flute 5 spot as well to check, so there's at least 2 entrances over in the pod area left behind. So it's not just an isolated pod
Right.
entrance.
Yeah, because he went into Castle at Dark Saha, and then that was just it.
Yeah, I don't think the other thing was anything at Dark Flute 5. I don't remember.
I don't believe so.
We're going to see Hera, and, with that hammer, we can actually go do East Death Mountain and start getting some of these checks.
Another dark room.
That is the diagonal.
That's the Death Mountain escape, the descent.
So that could either be the one that leads to Kakariko, or the one in Kakariko was the Mountain Rescue front entrance.
Right.
So, well, more to be revealed. See what's on Floating Island. Just a compass.
Compass.
Don't have to
We don't
worry
care.
about going for that. And yeah, here comes the dilemma. Which do you pick when you finally do the drop down here? Which do you pick?
Honestly, it's not the fastest to get back to, but we can get back up here relatively easily. So we can theoretically knock all of it out. But I like this one generally because you're checking 2 spots that you definitely need items to get to otherwise, whereas like getting to the bottom of Spiral is pretty easy if you get to the east side anyway. So Misery Mire was at that. What do you call that one, Willard?
Light World Laser. It's the laser exit, but in the Light World. We also did see TW finding Swamp Palace at Dark World Sank. So that's a nice find as well. Dungeons for both. What else we got up here? I'm like having to go cross-eyed just to keep track of both of these rotors, what they're doing. There's a bottomless spectacle cave. Nothing too exciting about that. Alright, what else we got? Shop, Graveyard Ledge.
Okay.
And we just got one more check on JP's side, and then curious to see where he goes to next. So, the thing about taking the middle drop down is that if you eventually find a connector that spits you out on the TR laser, or the TR connector, then you can use that to mirror and check Spiral Cave entrance and Mimic Cave entrance. That's usually the reasoning why I always pick the middle entrance every time. That doesn't always, pay off, but,
It's pretty solid though. Like it makes sense. So we're gonna kind of get some simultaneous routing in the Northwest Dark World from both runners now. Small Can the Library, only one runner has boots. Is this a key that we're going to need? That's a key that you probably absolutely want.
Yeah.
Crystal Swamp's a crystal, so that could be annoying for a while for JP.
Now, this could also be a situation where, which is funny because TW just found Swamp. Definitely doesn't want to go in there without the hook shot, but like, it could easily be a scenario where TW ends up doing Swamp earlier. Maybe he doesn't find anything, and JP like gets to go mode it at some point. Maybe, I don't know. Possibility. It's really easy to find that library and then just ignore it forever, depending on when you get boots. Well, this should be fine. Which big key is this? Desert.
You take that one. And TW just gonna drop right back down, not even gonna bother checking anything else here.
Yeah, I mean, I could see a reason to like want to do the bomb jump to check if he knows the bomb jump, to do that, to check the top exit, but don't really want to get sent away since we don't have a convenient Dark World access point yet by having another glove, or
right.
Well, by having the other glove.
See, and then that's the thing that could really swing everything into TW's favor, is that there is still another glove out there.
But
we're gonna get spiked.
I've seen plenty of these CrossKeys seeds come down to a late Mitts find if like there's no connectors that get us to, or even like late Flute find if there's no connectors that get us to the Mire area. But I mean, for the most part, aside from like Smith Chain, Ice Palace, and the Mire area, the Mitts are, sometimes skippable in this mode.
Captain actually bringing up a good point. That's a hook shot in Skull. Both runners are going to get that.
I can imagine TW taking that and that Swamp Small and going and doing Swamp Palace next.
Mm-hmm. Although, do we know that TW has swamp knowledge? I don't know if TW does or not.
I'm not sure.
But either way, like, that's super dense for an hour in. That's a lot of items that you can get. But yeah, I like what Catherine was saying as well. Like, we know that there's another desert, or there's a big key on the desert torch, and having the desert big key, that's 2 items we can get. And there's a good chance we need that big key. Actually, I don't think that we have it. No, we know where one is that you don't necessarily need, the swamp one. So it's a reasonable assumption we'll need that big key.
And it looks like this is going to be one of those Skullwoods that locks you in the back, no matter what. I'm pretty sure. Maybe? Yeah. Yes?
Yeah, I believe so. Not so bad, though, for JP, because he can just re-enter the portal anyway to use the mirror here and then just head south. You don't have the fire rod, though, JP.
You don't have the book. Maybe that was just like I know where I can mirror to not get sent back, so I'll just stick to that memory.
And that's totally fair.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the Lost Woods between dimensions kind of lines up, but you get some spots where it's like a couple pixels of a thing that reach somewhere else, and you get mirror bonked every time.
Alright, now we get to see more Village of Outcasts? Or where JP's going? Oh, and a save and quit from TW after finding out that drop down was back in the pinball room. JP's trying to get rid of his shield. It's not gonna work, JP. Just give up. I mean, it could work. What a goofer. Oh, this is new. TW using that hook shot to check this bumper cave connector. Let's see where it takes us. Oh, well.
You know, TW hasn't been here yet, though.
No,
so this is actually okay.
Yeah. That also gets him into Mire and can actually...
He's out.
Could actually do stuff in there, but is choosing not to. I mean, can...
Small key, big key, Cadence Mario, like... No, you don't have a lamp, you can't logically beat it, but there's actually a reasonable amount you can do there, even if you ignore left side and ignore Vidi.
The tough thing is, you know, do you want to go in there with that fire source and skip out on 2 items? But, you know, the way the seed's playing out, that might be where our next our lamp is.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a dip in there would have been worth it, for sure.
I think so. I mean, you ignore left side, you ignore Vidi, there's still 5 reasonably safe, reasonably quick items that you can get. Especially having a small key already, you can just go left, hit the crystal switch, and then just get everything on the east side of the dungeon.
Mm-hmm. Like, I can understand not wanting to go in because, you know, I don't want to have to do the dark rooms to get to Vidi. But, especially in Key Sanity, Mystery Mire is kind of stacked.
Yeah, I don't mind not going for a Vidi fight right now, though, because, like, what are you going to fight Vidi with? Bombs and fighter sword? Maybe a hammer? I mean, but in all seriousness, that's one of the reasons I like buying a bomb upgrade in CrossKeys, because yes, it takes a while, but if you happen to come across Vidi and you have 15 bombs, that's a hell of a lot of a different fight than when you only have 10.
Yeah, it definitely makes up for itself. Well, we still have more to explore for both runners. We have the means to full clear Swamp Palace, just not for any individual runner, but, you know, we know where the big key is. We know where the small key is. We could do pretty much all of Mire except for the Fire Rod stuff. We can get around T-Rock a little bit. We can now do all of left side GT with that hook shot.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's some possibilities.
So TW is just using Paradox as a connector to get back to West Dark World. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no glove, no other way to get here.
Oh, you know what is really bad? JP didn't have the Hera big key, so is gonna miss out on the Thieves Town big that was in the Hera big chest.
I see.
Yeah.
I don't believe we have Hera knowledge yet, so still some chance that it's a pendant and maybe we won't need it. Like, JP could just luck out like that, but...
True. Thieves Town could be a pendant, and it's not required at all.
And we're gonna get a swamp play. So everything but the big chest here. This is... I like this.
JP also finding the left side of TR, gonna go ahead and head to Crystal Roller, grab that, check, and then might work his way backwards through to Chain Chomps.
I actually missed that. What entrance was this in? Was this in Bumper Lower?
Yeah, Bumper Lower.
Okay.
There's our Thieves Town map, so we'll be able to know right away.
Small key to pod, that's always fine. We haven't seen a lot of those yet. It's 2 in total. Each runner has 1.
Mm-hmm. See, now this is the situation where when JP does eventually find GT, he's going to be able to do so much of it. And if he happens to stumble upon like the Fire Rod along the way as well, and maybe even the GT big key, he can potentially do the entire basement. Or all of it. Well, he would need a bow to do all of it. Or Mimic Clip. No. Yeah, that's the thing is, we do need to beat Agatu this seed, because Ganon is vanilla. What? Just some bombs. Let's see what else we got going on here in Swamp Palace. Yeah, maybe we'll find that other...
first look at Chain Chomp as well. I don't think either runner went from the front into Chain Chomp when they could have.
Small key to Thieves Town. Wow.
That's... I mean, again, if you're going to wind up finding Thieves, yeah, it's better to have that than to not. And of course, the Thieves Small is much less of a nuisance than the Hera Small anyway, like as you're first going through the dungeon, but...
Well, I'm sure TW is excited to have both of those in hand before finding Thieves Town. Even if it does end up being not required. Or like if it's a pendant. It's nice to not have to worry about that. JP, no small key. Can't get the library without the boots, but does know where this is now. I'll see if there's anything else in here. What would be the worst thing in Swamp for JP right now that TW finds? Probably a glove. Maybe.
Yeah, I think a glove, because that would just open up so much for TW and just make everything so much more convenient, and probably, for the moment, comparing the runners side by side, probably have a greater impact than finding a bow or Fire Rod or anything.
Yeah. I think that's like one of the things that JP has an advantage over TW on is... Now, if only there was a second pair of boots somewhere out there so that JP could get bailed out. What is this? Ludicrous mode. Alright, left side swamp has a small key to Ice Palace. That's nice, but not necessary.
Not a big deal. We can live without that.
And 300 smackers.
300 rupees. Kicking up a little bit of dust before opening that, just anticipation for it, I guess.
Yeah, I'm also sure TW's not too excited about his loadout for this Argus fight. Either the double hook fighter sword spin or the hook hammer, the menu boss.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's a thing that we'll have to deal with. But
yeah, where the heck are our swords?
Good question. Yeah, we've only seen the one. It's the same one for both runners.
Also, yeah, I wonder when TW's gonna head back to Desert to go get that big key. So you don't want to do too much exploration and like find a dungeon and then go back and find the big key for it right afterwards.
Right. I think that's one big key I would probably go back for pretty quickly just because of that.
Back of Swamp has the lamp. There it is.
Lamp. So we got a number of fire things in Logic now. Including all of Meyer, actually. Everything in Meyer is in Logic at this point.
I'm sure
I guess
TW.
technically, just as a disclaimer, I say that kind of loosely because we don't have every key, but whatever.
Well,
Hey,
there's
there's another one. There, we're closer.
We're
Shut up,
closer.
chat.
I can't imagine TW would want to immediately go to Meyer yet. I feel like he'd probably be hoping for some more firepower for that.
Yeah, I absolutely hope for it, but at the same time, you got to consider it just went from 5 items to 8.
Mm-hmm.
And we're at
Yeah.
a point now where the worlds are pretty well explored. You need items, so I think you got to give it some more weight.
JP finding the back of Skull Woods here at the Thieves Town entrance. Picks up a 20, and that's going to be it. So, just as a slight recap, both runners are kind of going on their own little adventures. They both got a lot of individual information about the seed right now. The biggest difference really is TW finding GT in Ice Rock Cave area, picking up the boots there, and JP finding Mini Moldering Cave at the pod entrance and getting a glove. It's kind of the big difference here, and I feel like the boots have led to more things for TW than the glove has, usually, so far.
Yeah,
particularly
of course.
this Swamp Palace that led to like the lamp.
Mm-hmm. Right, because of course boots leading to the Swamps Mall in that library. I would say that a bit over an hour in, there is an edge for TW at the moment, just strictly based on items and what's come from those. God, that last puff just doesn't want to get hooked.
No. Like JP's checking
I wouldn't
some
either, I don't blame it.
Subdark Caves. This is the one that I think kicked him out at Checkerboard Cave. Which he already knows about this, but he's going to go check the other items in Hookshot Cave, I believe. Or no, he doesn't know this. TW knew this, but it's going to work.
Yeah, TW did this. A little bit of trouble getting... at this point, I would just go for Ice Rod, honestly.
Yeah. Hammer hitbox is the worst. I would not rely on it unless I had no choice, but gets down, Argus, no problemo. Gets a 20, and gets that crystal. That he did not know about, but now knows about. Ooh!
Fire Rod for JP and Hookshot Cave. I was just thinking, we have not seen the rest of Hookshot Cave from TW, so that is another really good find for JP.
That is a fightable Trinex right now. And now he could also go kill Moth too, because he did find Moth as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and he's got 2 Swamp Smalls, so...
And now, when JP finds GT, he can do the entire basement. Minus the big
You know what? He's
key.
got that glove and a mirror now. I wonder if he winds up going back down to the Ice Rod Cave area, check the rock there in the Dark World, and then mirrors to the Light World.
Potentially. Well, this is looking like a top of the castle check for him. Which is...
Interesting.
Yeah, without being able to check all 3, I kind of don't like this yet, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's good info, and it's fairly close to where he was anyway, so I can understand it. I think I personally would have waited until at least another sword or cape, given what else is available.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to keep in mind what he knows that he has available, rather than what I see both runners have available.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tough to say exactly what's right here, but...
Ooh, it does find Blindside.
Fine, we're finding 5 items right away. This feels good, I think.
He could just find a sword right here. Or that cave. Wouldn't that be something?
Just vandalizing the hell out of Blind's basement, deleting all of the furniture.
Bugnet. Flute.
Flute? Okay.
Holy moly. Anything else?
I can live with this. Heart container. You know what? That flute is really nice. That Cana Burna is gonna get us through Spike Cave. Like, that just opens up something else.
Yo, that flute is also nice. That'll get him right over to Ice Rock Cave instantly. So that actually might have been the bailout that he was needing to get over to GT.
Possible.
Now, I would not put it past this game to be like, oh yeah, you just got to go to GT, or to get the boots, to go to Desert, to get the GT Big Key on the torch. Piece of cake. Duh. Easy game.
Yeah, I mean, you figured it out just fine. It sounds pretty easy.
Yeah. We are going to see left side maze race. I don't remember if there was anything There was half magic at the maze race, so that'll be a nice grab as well for TW.
Oh, was sorry, I missed that. Yeah, no, you pick that up while you're here. Why not?
Looks like JP is going to go fight Trinex, which with Hammer is not too bad. Without Hammer is very hard if you just had Fighter Sword.
You would, even with half magic, I think you'd be going through a minimum of like 2 full magic bars, maybe more.
Yeah,
I would absolutely never advise doing this fight without Hammer or Master Sword.
Actually, this is a EU find. We find Eastern on the left side of Maze Race, and no bow, no big key, but gonna go ahead and hop in here, see if you find any goodies. So what other dungeons are we looking for? We haven't found Desert Boss.
We haven't seen Thieves.
No Thieves.
And I guess as far as entrances are concerned, I don't think we've seen the desert or the TR big chest either.
No.
That's it, though.
That's about
We've
it.
seen everything else. So not too bad. Only a handful of entrances, and a couple of those we might not even need. We don't have our full pendant layout yet.
There's the other glove in Eastern Palace on the right. Well, that's good for TW, not so great for JP.
No, I would say pretty bad for JP.
Though,
just because of what that's going to allow TW to complete.
Though, at the same time, what if, JP is not really set up to head into Eastern at all at this point? So I would assume you go activate Flute, go to GT, maybe he finds a bow and the Eastern Big Key over there.
Maybe the Eastern Big Key's on the Desert Torch. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, it's an interesting find. Pod was just up on a pod entrance. Well, that's the thing is, unless, Thieves Town is required, and it's over in the Mire area, and we don't have a connector there, we don't know if limits are actually required or not yet.
It's possible or not.
We haven't we haven't actually seen. We haven't found Saha. We have no idea where our pendants are yet. Both runners using their fire sources to check items here in their individual dungeons. We get $20 on the right of Eastern Palace, but not going to complain about getting a glove out of there at all. No. JP finding small key to Castle Town. That's a second item in CT.
Quick magic refill. JP's just gonna save and quit out, perhaps planning. Oh yeah, no, the old man save and quit. Just go activate the flute right away.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I can't imagine he doesn't immediately go to Ice Rock Cave from here.
TW running right by Hype Cave, which is part of Hookshot Cave, which has the Fire Rod.
Yeah.
Perhaps a misnote or just an oversight. That Fire Rod would have been really, really huge for TW right now.
I mean, I'm sure he has it marked. He has it marked as Hookshot Cave on his tracker because he has a map tracker on his stream as well. So
no, he's coming over here with the mirror. I gotta assume GT is on his mind. And rightfully so. You can do so much of it now.
I don't know if TW has that right side GT lamp sequence break in his back pocket or not. But, we are going to see this small key at the drop down here.
What
are you still looking
that
for?
Would give JP an advantage? What key would this really
Desert,
be that
maybe?
would be helpful? Desert would be nice.
Another pod one.
That's a pretty free pod key. That's fine.
Alright, new info. We have nothing. Nothing from the Dark World Rock here. Gonna mirror, check this one, and then we'll go into GT. Whoops. A little too close there. This was...
I don't remember what this one was.
This is Mini Moldering Cave.
Oh, okay. not checked that before? I'm confused.
No, he must not have. I don't know why he bombed it. I don't know what JP's doing.
Back to Ice Palace, I guess. No?
He has a flute. What's he doing? Oh, he's gonna check the rock here. I'm still surprised that TW hasn't gone back to Desert for a free big key.
Yeah, honestly, with so many dungeons that are going to require it, and like we know a handful of crystals that we don't have big keys for yet, I would think, I've been saying it for a bit personally, I would think sooner rather than later is when you get that.
Oh, okay. Oh, TW taking a fireball to the face.
And back to Dark World for JP. And then where to? Maybe, honestly, maybe still back to Ice.
Yeah, maybe. It is... I don't know.
Well, if he's going east from here, though, I don't think so.
I'd kind of want to hold off on Ice, see if you can get the big key first. It also, we don't have the information on it, so it could be a pendant. This might be just mirror checks, like K45, looking like. So just doing some small cleanup. He will find Eastern, and if he does dip it, he will get his mitts, which will give us mire access. So, you know, if there is something in the mire area, that could be big.
I worry that'll send him further away from Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, probably.
This is a new item, though. It's just bombs. It's not really helpful.
I did not see if TW picked up anything here in Stalfos.
Nothing came out of it. Those last chests were map and a piece of part. Map for a dungeon we already knew.
Nice. Hyrule Castle small. They do both have Hyrule Castle cleared out. You gonna get his half magic? Heading on to Rando Room. This is still gonna be a not very fun Ice Armos fight. So
yeah,
half magic will help.
Half magic and Ice Rod, yeah, it's not awful.
Those are fourth pot
JP
small.
has Burna, or does TW have Burna as well? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't remember where Burna was.
TW does not have Burna, based on his tracker. I think both runners on their streams are individually using auto tracking, which is helping me out a ton. So thanks, guys. But yeah, JP is gonna get his mitts while TW finds a sword. A desert small.
Key for desert.
There's our second
map for a useless dungeon. You're coming out of Rando Room feeling pretty good about that right now.
Oh yeah, because now, you need to get 2 more hearts first. Then I'd be feeling pretty good. Because if you can have sword beams for, he's gonna need 3 hearts. Because if you can have sword beams for Ice Armos, that's such a huge find. I don't think TW knows that you can run just along the bottom of the wall there and then hookshot up to the post to avoid all that.
Wow, I almost got hit by that mini helmet.
Yeah.
Bonked off. So yeah, we'll see how TW handles this fight then. Still has that bottle with the green potion, I think, so honestly I would say just use all of the Ice Rod. But we'll see.
If I recall, spins are fine, right? Because it's tempered sword.
Spins are tempered damage, but tempered slashes are the same as fighter sword slashes on Armos. Master sword slashes are really bad here. They are actually doing less damage
than like a fire sword slash. So like boomerang damage.
Let me pull up the damage table.
Oh, that's so bad. Get out that Ice Rod. Actually, like Ice Rod, lay some Samari blocks down. It's so weird how Armos works with the Master Sword.
Armos has 48 HP. Boomerangs are each going to do 1. Master Sword slashes will do 2. Fighter Sword and Tempered Sword are the same at 4.
Master Sword slashes do
8, so
2.
Yep. Master Sword slashes do less damage.
He bailed. He was not having any of that.
That is unfortunate.
He couldn't decide what he wanted to do.
But unfortunate.
Yeah, he was down to 2
And the
hearts,
reason
so
I-
he was concerned he was
the
going to
reason-
die.
Sorry, I did not mean to keep talking over you there.
Oh, you're good.
It's tough sometimes. I was just gonna say, Sword Beams do Fighter Sword damage, which is why Sword Beams with Master Sword is actually the better way to go if you can on Ice Armos, rather than Master Sword slashes.
It is surprising that it will melt them with the sword beams. It is so fast.
It's a very weird fight.
All right, Meyer is also Quake, so double Quake. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna assume TW just doesn't know about using Ice Rod as a weapon, or I don't know. For the record, I've seen JP play plenty of times. We have a green pen and ice. Okay, well, there's that info.
Knowledge, at least.
I've not seen TW play too much, so got a map
And
to
to be fair,
Meyer.
damage tables are one of the more convoluted things to learn. So, like, it certainly wasn't one of the first things I learned when I started playing this game.
And JP also gets a map to Meyer, so we'll have that information. TW is going to get some good stuff, plus an additional check here on Castle Tower, so this could be big for your TW.
Could be. JP's got a connector there. I would actually be curious to know where that one goes. But
yeah, it could be like TR connector.
Yeah,
and
that mimic ledge.
Oh, that's where Burna was. Because you mean the only downside would be is if it kicked you out at like TR entrance or something, because then you're not getting back. Though fluting back here is no problem.
Right. Yeah, mirror and fluting back here, it's really a non-issue. Hopefully JP remembers to mirror in front of Meyer and check. Oh, and that's a one-way, that's for sure. But to make sure that he checks the front of Desert as well, because that is the only way to get to that one right now.
Without the book, yeah. Anything else in here? No. It's
Nope.
Meyer. Other than that green pendant info, this Meyer area has been kind of a dud.
And I guess JP's gonna go for Spiral Cave. I don't think we've seen the bottom of Spiral Cave either, so this is still gonna be some new information. And TW had Meyer's Shed at the Aghanim entrance, so no consequence there. Both those items were kind of bad.
Yeah, it's just some ammo, some refills.
Well, one of them was like a 5 rupee, I think. Is that ammo?
Yeah. Yeah. You know,
counts?
you just have to use the Meowth spray. Your attack is payday. Just tossing out rupees.
Sure. That's fair. Oh, we have seen Spiral Bottom.
Okay.
I'm assuming we have because it's Kakariko anyway.
So JP hopefully going to check that desert entrance, and if that's nothing, might also check that connector that he saw. Ooh, okay. Meyer is a pendant. Okay.
So that's still only 2 pendants that we know of, right? Just green at Ice and blue at Meyer?
So it's going to come down to Desert, Skull, or Thieves, and, you know, we could go beat Moth and find out right then and there. That'd be a pretty quick boss fight to go do for JP, though. Hey, he's got Hammer, Half Magic, Fire Rod, no biggie.
That's one that I might not prioritize, even if it means information right now, because it's still just 1 extra item at the moment.
Yeah, that's true.
It's all situational. Sometimes you want that info. I think for me right now, you still want more items than info. But this is new. It's not worth it.
Is Catfish new?
But new is good.
Yes, Catfish is new. There's the cave. I'm surprised he didn't mirror to go to Zora. I don't think we got the Zora item from either
No,
round.
we haven't. We have seen the ledge, but no, nobody had enough money. And actually, ironically, JP still doesn't have 500 rupees, but it's also not the one that was in the area. Alright, so we'll see this connector then. I think there's a reasonably good chance this will put us onto that Turtle Rock outside ledge.
Yeah, TR connector could be GT, could be TR, could even be send you right back to Meyer.
Right.
Ice Palace
actually went back up for the Spiral Top, right? So like we would still have one other. We would still have 2 new entrances if it spits us out there.
Yeah, this is probably going to be the TR connector if I had to guess, because I don't know how many other connectors we have left outside of TR entrances. Yeah,
not a lot. Yeah, there it is.
This
So
could
we'll
be
check
big.
Mimic Cave immediately. Actually, I'm sorry, I misspoke. That turns into 3 more entrances to check. And Hype Cave, you know what? You're happy to find a 5-item room immediately here.
Yeah, I think that's all of them now. Big key, to pod, that's required. Small key to mire, that's all 3. And another pod small.
Small key to pod. That, you know what? That's good. That's really good. Still missing a bow. But, like, as soon as you get a bow at this point, like, I think once you enter pod, you just go right for helmet and then just clear out what other items you can.
It's funny because the 3 pod smalls that JP have are not the same as the 2 pod smalls that TW has. And there's our 3rd sword
all different.
At Waterfall, so... This is the thing about the seed, is that both runners have been finding stuff, but, like progressive stuff, but, like, different progressive stuff, or different items that there are multiple of. They've each been finding different ones. Different swords, different gloves.
Like, they have one matching sword, but then their masters are both different. The pod smalls are all different. It's kind of funny to see how this is unfolding.
Okay, I don't recall if JP's actually been to this area yet. Or I guess he has then. Did he? I don't know. I'm assuming he did Eastern Saha at some point. Those entrances.
I believe so. What's he going for now? Oh, top of Hookshot Cave. Okay, this is new.
We just saw that on TW's side, actually.
Oh, did we? I lied. I wasn't watching.
Because he came up here and then went to the left and checked Hera entrance and saw it was one of the dark connectors.
It's so hard to keep up with this.
It really is. It's tough. I think we're doing a pretty swell job.
I think so. We got enough collective entrance knowledge, and yeah, it's going fine. Where are you going, JP?
I hope JP... I'm assuming if JP does go to Ice Rock Cave area, it's going to be from the Dark World first, so we can combine them together. So if this isn't an ice... I can't imagine him going for Green Pendant Ice. I gotta imagine this is him going to Ice Rock Cave area. If I had to guess.
No, he's still hitting the screen transition, so that kind of lends itself to your theory. And he's going southeast now, so...
Now here's the bad news for JP, is that TW's about to get his mitts. Not that mitts were super... Well, no, they were required, because that was the only way we could get to Saha's closet on Left Side Desert. Actually...
But what was in there, aside from ice knowledge?
The pod? Or no, was pod was in Hype Cave. Maybe there was nothing there.
This is how TW's gonna get to that connector, though, to get to the TR ledge to get
right. Okay, yeah. So it was required. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
But this will get JP into GT, and we'll actually get to see more of it. Just because, TW bailed out on clearing Ice Armos. That's 3 checks. And,
and having the fire rod, JP can go right side.
I just want to know when these runners are going to go get their dang big key out of desert. I mean, JP can't, obviously. Thieves Town is our last pendant.
Okay.
So...
And we haven't even seen Thieves Town yet, so you kind of hope at this point to not find it.
Exactly. So we know, personally, from watching, what all the required dungeons are at this point. These runners still don't know individually. But once JP, knows what Thieves Town is, which the map for that was in the second chest of Swamp Palace. So once JP gets his boots, he can go to the library to get the Swamp Small, and then he can go into Swamp to find out what the Thieves Town map was.
Was it there? Because I thought that JP's the one that had the map for Oh no, because TW just did the check. I don't know. I'll just trust you.
Well, yeah, this is interesting. I think I still have to favor TW. He's had the boots for an hour over JP, but at the same time, I gotta say JP's probably got the better execution between the 2 runners, just based on what I've seen so far. And
I would even add that I don't think the boots have actually done all that much. I mean, the Swamp Small is obviously huge, and fully required. But I think what's really going to have the biggest impact is what JP does once he's done with GT here. Like, where's he gonna go to use those boots? Is he gonna be the first one to go and check that big key on the Desert Torch? Like, and I mean, really, there's still another. At this point, I'd say the biggest variable is who's gonna find the first bow. Because at that point, then that's gonna, like, if JP finds it and he can go beat Pod, that's gonna be absolutely huge.
I was wondering. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm actually confused. Yeah, why is JP leaving?
He's gonna go get that desert big key because he wants to know.
You know
if it's
what?
the
No,
GT
like
big
this.
key. I was
You're
wondering why he was bailing, but I was like,
You're
this
right.
is smart because if this is the
it's
big key, that'd be huge.
Yeah, because we do, and that's another thing as a recap for those that have just come in. We do need to beat Ganon's tower. Ganon is vanilla in this seed, so this big key. Hopefully, it's not just Skullwood's big. Like, we don't want to see that, but oh god,
Dang it, DT! You just had to say something, didn't you? That's really funny.
So that's not what we wanted. That's
No.
like actually the last thing that we wanted right now. I know that you're watching their streams individually to like keep trackers and whatnot. I'm actually not. Like I had no idea.
I can see everything. It's pretty great, actually. Let me just do a quick look to see if my trackers match up. I think so. I think I got everything. He does know that it's both, so let me update that. All right. So no big key for JP, but who knows? Maybe you'll find the GT big key off Ice Armos. Who
Yeah,
knows?
still got 3 items in the back there.
Could happen. So I think for JP, though, the one thing I am probably most worried about is when he's going to make his way back to library to get that Swamp Small. Did we... The only thing I think we saw in Swamp was the lamp, right?
Mm-hmm. Which, at this point, isn't a huge concern with Half Magic and Fire Rod for JP.
Yeah.
Like, he can do the Skullwoods bomb jump to get to the back if necessary. Like, he can do things like that to mitigate... Well, no, he's got Fire Rod. Ignore what I'm saying. He's fine with just Fire Rod and Half Magic is the point I'm trying to make.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of Fire Rod, TW still has not come back to Hookshot Cave to pick that up.
Yeah. Hopefully he hasn't
So that's another
completely
thing.
forgot about. There has been some moments, which, you know, is definitely common, especially in a mode like this, where it's just like, what do I do? What do I do next? What's the next best move?
Yeah.
And it's definitely something that I've had to get better about, is just always planning my next move if the thing I'm doing currently doesn't pay out. So I'm always ready. I'm always heading to the next thing, because, you know, we've seen plenty of races come down to pure seconds, and if you're standing around fumbling over your notes instead of moving forward, you can definitely lose time on that. We are going to see Meyer for the first time, finally.
And one other thing that I'll note, too, regarding the Hookshot Cave location, one of the ends of that was that Hype Cave, and we have seen TW, unfortunately, run right by it more than once at this point. So that, unfortunately, I don't know, maybe it's a misnote, maybe it's just simply forgot about it. But that's, knowing what we know from our perspective of both runners, that's not the thing that you want to see that a runner may have forgotten. Tempered Sword for JP, so...
Okay, since the GT big key wasn't on the Desert Torch, then it's clearly going to be right side desert now that we have the small key for it. Clearly. So, Thieves Town is a pendant, we don't necessarily need to find it. Desert is a crystal. We haven't found Desert Boss yet. So that is still out there in the wild somewhere.
There's still a number of myths locations that we can open up, so hopefully it's not too hidden. Hopefully it's not like a Pyramid Fairy thing.
We got like Hammer Pegs.
That's one of my favorite things in this mode, is like going through a connector and getting spit out a Pyramid Fairy, so I never have to check it.
Right, just completely write that off.
Yeah,
who knows, maybe
and...
maybe with that Skullwoods big, JP will head back to Skullwoods and you can check the back of Skullwoods as well with the Fire Rod.
Sure, that's another entrance, why not?
Okay.
How's JP gonna handle this?
He's got Tempered Sword, so he's just gonna flail wildly.
Okay.
He does have Burna.
He has Burna, he has Half Magic, and I think he still has that green potion as well. This
is making me sad.
Not the quickest.
It works though. It'll work out.
The good thing is that, like, when you do a Master Sword spin here, it's not going to do that much more. When you're doing a Tempered spin, you're at least dealing okay damage to these things.
TW picks up a book from the cutscene chest in Misery Mire, which is really gross.
Okay.
Especially getting a book this late, because now it's like, all the way back up for Ether Tablet. Bombo's Tablet. But, you know, I mean, could Pedestal even... Maybe Pedestal could be...
Mire's completely in logic.
something.
Ice is... I don't know.
Well, yeah, this dungeon is
depending on where the big is, I guess. And then Thieves is a rather pendant. We have the key, so yeah, I mean... Ice big pending.
Oh,
oh my
no.
god.
Oh, that is so bad for TW. He was at the Armos fight, but he bailed out because he was gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially, he was at 2 hearts.
This is, and JP doesn't know it. I'm sure, knowing JP as well as I do, he's probably not feeling great getting to GT as late as he did.
Mm-hmm.
But that bow is an absolutely huge break for him right now.
Yeah, so we absolutely need it to beat both Eastern and Pod as we find the Ice Palace big in Misery Mire.
Which completes the sequence of everything for the pedestal being in logic now. So.
That's nasty. Right, JP doesn't know this is a crystal, but he is going to find out once he beats this moth. So, once again,
Oh my god.
I was just about to say, once again, we're at a point where there are 2 bows, so TW could just find the other one, and there it is in Misery Mire.
Unbelievable. What was it, like 45 minutes ago that we were saying that Mire's still like 5 items, even if you don't want to go to Vidi and
Oh
can't
my
do left
gosh.
side? Like, that was just sitting there this whole time.
Yeah, and like, Bridge Chest is usually the first check you get in Mire when you go in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Now-
I mean, that bow was actually pretty free.
What's
in
interesting to me is that I don't think TW does know that Mire is a pendant, so TW has all of his dungeon info at this point. So he is actively choosing to avoid killing Vidi for 1 item. Oh, big key.
There's a big key.
Eastern.
We need that. We absolutely need that.
I gotta say, this race has turned around quite a bit.
It not only turned around, it's heating up pretty well. We've got both runners finding 2 different bows. JP just found another big key that we need.
And it looks like TWW is going back to Eastern, not knowing that he does not have the big key. Which, funny enough...
Oh no.
Uh,
That's unfortunate. There's nothing more he can do here right now.
and it's weird, because on his tracker, he does not have the big key marked, so I don't... You hate to see it. Okay, he realizes it. Okay, good.
Realizing? Okay, good.
Okay. Now, he can't get the big key because he... Well, I mean, he can if he knows the bomb jumps in Skull Woods, but based on what I've seen, I don't think he has that one down. So he needs to go to Hookshot Cave to get the fire out, to go to Moth at the entrance to Skull Woods, or at the entrance to Thieves Town, to go get his Eastern big off the Moth.
Which he can do right now. We'll see if he runs up running north or goes to the east from here. I
JP
think
is
he's
going
heading
to...
north, although maybe for Blacksmith?
Yeah, potentially. So at this point, we need to find Desert Boss.
Yep.
Is there anything... What else are we looking for? We need the GT big.
We need
GT
Desert
does-
Boss, and we need GT Big. That's
it. Yeah. That's
JP
it.
sitting in a much better position at the moment, just because of those things. And there's
Okay.
Thieves Town at the back of
Back
Skull.
of Skull. So he doesn't have the big key, so he can only check the first 4. And this, as long as the GT big isn't back here, this is probably good for. This is probably okay for.
The way this seed's been going, I wouldn't be surprised if it is back there. It's turned into such a back and forth mess over the last half hour. Not
It's
mess,
all-
but like it's been entertaining.
You know, every time I play a rando, I always think to myself, there's no way that the game's going to force me in the stupidest, worst possible situation to finish the seed out. And every time the
Gosh.
game proves me wrong. In fact, I do have to do the stupidest, most horrible thing.
After, gosh, what, 5.5, almost 6 years, Willard, when are you gonna learn?
I'll never. I'll never learn.
I could ask myself the same question. I don't know. It's like there was a couple years ago, I just for the hell of it, like I wanted to play a Key Sanity Seed, so I load one up, and hey, there's a small key for Tower of Hera on the pedestal, and then I go check that, and of course it's the GT big, and it's like, why did I want to do this?
There's a big key on the right.
Yeah,
It's just how it goes, man.
yeah.
Oh, and there's our fourth sword
there's our
off the
fourth sword.
sick kid
Okay.
at Hammer Pigs.
So that's good.
So, aside from the sword, did we get anything else out of Meyer? Does JP need? We got the bow, a sword and a bow, but that was it.
He doesn't need
And the
silvers,
book.
but,
And the book.
which is still an unknown. We haven't seen tablets yet.
Yeah. So now, with that book, I feel like TW would benefit from just dashing all the way down, because you can ditch your chest, dash all the way down, mirror, turn in chest, and then do Bombo's tablet here. So he's going to continue to isolate this one. Well, JP does get his Swamp Small, and we'll probably head right in.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty close to it.
And we will get to see new info there. There is the Swamp Big Chest that we haven't seen. And
yeah, I think at this point, if you're JP, yeah, you go to Swamp right away, of course, but or perhaps not. Does he not have map info, I wonder?
He does. He knows it's a crystal. I think he was the first one that had that map info, but maybe he's got other stuff on his mind. Because, I mean, for him, he still doesn't know that Thieves Town is the last pendant. So he's going to go beat Eastern. I think this is a safer play for him. TW hugging a Freezor right away just to get that health refill before clearing out Green Pendant Ice. So, yeah, I mean...
Getting close to 2 hours, like, if you know that you've got crystals you can beat, I think you just gotta ditch everything else you're doing and go beat those crystals.
Yeah.
Like, we know you've got to find the backup desert, so at a certain point you've just got to dedicate your time to finding the remaining entrances.
And, with this does open up Pyramid Fairy. Now, JP hasn't found the big bomb, but it is at a relatively convenient location at the Dark World Bonk Rocks.
Yeah.
So, while you're saying that JP, you need to just start hitting up these key crystal dungeons, we have TW here hitting up all the pendant dungeons in a row, pretty much.
There's still stuff on us we haven't seen. I mean, honestly, like, it could work out.
Yeah. I mean, if TW happens to stumble upon the GT Big Key in one of these pendant dungeons, that could be big. I mean, we really don't know. Like, obviously... purely based on crystal count, JP's in the lead with 3 crystals done. But it could easily, you isolate one check, or, GT Big Key's in the back of Thieves, but you're not going to want to go back to a Pendant Thieves all the way back in the Skullwoods boss entrance. Like, who knows? There's that Swamp Big. That's where that was.
That's probably one of the last things that you want to find at this point.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, how many items in Ice did JP wind up getting? Was it... I think it was 5. I think he still had the big chest, the one that TW's doing right now, and then Cold's
the boss. There. Yeah, you got quite a bit of them. Oh, there it is.
Oh,
okay.
So, about those keys that we still need.
So, at this point, for us, who have all the knowledge, we just need to find Desert. That's it, right?
That is it. Yeah, collectively we do have every other key that we need.
Now, I wonder, in JP's situation, when he eventually comes down to this point of like, okay, I just have to pick a pendant dungeon and go. Do you go to a fresh Misery Mire, or do you go back and clear out the few remaining items in a Green Pendant Ice? Both are reasonable, I'd say.
I agree, both are reasonable. It takes a little bit longer to... Well, considering you would have to go through the Dark World transition, getting to the fresh mire might actually be more in your interest of time.
Well,
it's tough to say.
The Floating Island connector was Flute 5. Takes you to Floating Island, and it was the brother's house, so it's a real quick transition.
That's a short one, true.
We're going
into
Pod. That's actually
very easy to get back to Mire then.
We have found every dungeon aside from a couple TR connectors and Desert Boss, so Mire is known by both runners, especially. It's just JP didn't go in. TW didn't go in initially, but then came back for it later. So, this is going to send I mean, I would assume TW would probably... I don't know. Would TW want to go back to GT right away, or wait until he finds that fire rod?
Well, let's think of it this way. What's even in GT at this point that TW needs, aside from beating it? Like, are there still... he doesn't need fire rod there. Eastern Big wasn't there.
I think right side
Pod
just
Big
had a
wasn't.
Pod Small, and then
Yeah,
Ice Run was
he
had a
doesn't need to
bow.
go there. No, the Pod Big is kind of in an obscure spot for him at this point with what else he has available.
Oh yeah, because I guess he never... That was at Hype Cave, wasn't it? Through that connector.
It was in Hype Cave on the TR bridge through the back of Desert entrance. So there's still a couple of pretty obscure loose ends for both runners that they need to clean up before being able to finish this.
Yeah, and there is also that possibility that we might need Quake to find Desert.
Sure.
I
Yeah, no,
don't
that's
think
true.
we've popped out of Meyer or TR at any point. So
Not that I've seen. Definitely not out of Maya, or else we would have known that like getting back to that area would have been pretty easy. And I don't think we've seen TR either, you're right?
we did see Ether. That was at the... What was that? We just saw that. Was that
Yeah,
in...
we picked that up in Ice, I believe. No, JP has it. I lied.
Not that we need it. Ether is useless. I'm wondering if at this point, if TW is going to, after Bombos is going to make his way back to go turn in Green Pennant and then check that connector that gets him up to where Hype Cave was, where he'll find his Pod Big.
Ether was the Eastern Big Chest. Okay, thank you.
Eastern Big, thank you. Right. Alright, Bombos tablet. I guess, yeah, at this point, the only thing we'd be really on the lookout for would be, like, the Quake Medallion. There's a...
Mm-hmm.
I think that... Is that our lab? I don't know anymore. I don't know what...
It's either the 4th or the 5th that we... I think it's at least the 5th, maybe the 6th.
Yeah, I think it's the
that we've
5th.
seen in total. And of course, that same Hype Cave that has the Pod Big also has another Pod Small,
Mhm.
so once TW does find that, Pod Keys should not be an issue at all.
There's a powder.
That's another check. Unfortunately, here's the thing. Everything that JP is doing that is not going to Ice Palace for an item is not helping him.
Oh, yeah.
And everything
like,
that TW that is doing that is not going to Hookshot Cave for the Fire Rod is also not helping. So they both need an item that's in an obscure spot and then to still find the back of Desert.
and there's a good chance
Actually,
that...
TW still needs... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go
I've been
for it.
talking too much. Okay, no, you go.
No. Say your piece.
The other obscure thing that TW is looking for is the Eastern Big from the Moth fight, which
Right.
isn't... It's a pretty easy location. It's just right at the Thieves Town entrance. But that's just another thing to do.
Mhm.
Although it hasn't had much of an issue going for pendant dungeons at this point, so we might see that.
We're going to see Desert Right. I wonder if TW will also mirror and check the Ice Palace entrance for Desert Boss. That'd be kind of fitting. Mushroom. Oh, good. We're both finding fetch quests.
Actually, you know what? For TW, this is a really good dense play. He hasn't been back here yet for the Torch Big Key, which we know is just Skull. But that also means he's got the big chest available as well. So there's a couple of really quick items here.
That's where that Hera Big was. Which... Hopefully JP doesn't go back for him to back to Hera to get that Thieves Big.
Oh gosh, yeah, the quest that would send JP on.
Assuming we don't need
I
anything back there.
I gotta
still-
say, like, it's...
Well, I guess we can't really say anything until we find Desert Boss, because there is still a possibility
Right.
we need another item to get to find it.
Mhm. The interesting thing for me watching this is that, like, combining what I know from what both runners have done, it's very, like, this seed, for whatever reason, like, if you had the full knowledge, it feels like it's pretty easy to piece together. Like, both runners are just so close to their goal.
Yeah,
But for where each runner is individually,
of course.
I don't think anyone's making a bad play here.
All right, Desert Boss at Ice, which is funny because Desert Right was at Capacity Ferry. So that is all of our dungeon info or locations. So at this point, yeah, we just need each runner to kind of, go find a few things that they need.
I think collectively the 2 items that TW needs are in more convenient spots than the 1 item that JP needs.
Yeah, I can agree
Because
with
one's
that.
just on a quick pendant boss, one's in a hookshot cave, and then for JP, the other's kind of deep in ice.
Deep in an ice he's already been in. I think that's the worst part about it, because a lot of times, you know, if you dive a potentially non-required dungeon or a pendant dungeon, the desire to go back to there to clean up is, you know, it's less dense. So why would you want to go back there?
Yeah, I mean, it's reasonably... There's Quake. Gosh, that even opens up more possibilities for JP that we know he doesn't need now. With the Icebreaker, getting the GT Big's not going to take long, but yeah, it's a very not... Nobody really wants to go back to Ice. I guess that's really what it is. It's more of a mental game, I think, than the actual time that it takes.
Yeah, I would assume after this that
CrossKeys.
JP might just go full clear swamp next. Potentially, and just hope that his GT big key's in there, which it's not. But I know it's tough. It's tough late game swamp because it's like, man, if I just had this one thing, or if I just had the rest of my info, then I could go mode this entire dungeon and save so much time.
Yeah, I mean, swamp's dense enough that it feels like a good play, but then you get through it and you're gonna find nothing. It's gonna feel like it was a huge time sink.
So right now, the biggest thing is TW needs to go back to Hookshot Cave. And then... Okay, our Mushroom Turn-In was just our 4th bottle. Lovely.
Actually, I'm curious. Has TW been to the Meyer area at all?
Yes.
Because I can't... Really? Okay.
He just didn't check the connector.
Got it.
So I remember him talking to Saha, despite already knowing that Green Pendant was ice. So... Okay. Picking up some potions. I wonder... He does have a... No, he doesn't have a beatable TR. Where's he going? This is pod. This looks like a pod. No, it can't be a pod. Oh, I hope he doesn't go into pod. Okay. Remind me again, what is up here that we were looking for? It's just pod Meyer, unless this is a separate connector that TW is going for.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We're way past pod at this point, and Meyer's on the other side.
Oh, might just be an ether tablet check. I also don't necessarily know all of which TW has seen on the mountain, on East Death Mountain, because you know how you have to kind of pick a drop down on the right side. So he definitely has like Spiral Cave entrance, which unfortunately is not the one he needs. I think it was Mimic Cave that had Hype Cave.
Alright, and what is JP up to? Checking King's Tomb, which is Graveyard Ledge. I think he just mirrored and left his portal in front of where Swamp Palace is, so he's probably planning to go back there.
So it was Paradox Cave, which led to...
Paradox led to Top of Bumper and something useless. I think
Desert,
it was Desert, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see. Well, I mean, at this point, we don't really need to see... We don't really need anything that's in new checks at this point. We have everything that we need to beat the seed. If we were playing at DT, you and I, right now, JP is going to get his pendant info, though. His last one. He'll know that he doesn't need the Thief Sound Big.
If we were playing it?
If we were playing it?
Are you suggesting CrossKeys spoiler pilot tourney?
Oh! It's time. Hey, well, they just announced League Season 5. Maybe they'll bring that back. Is it time to get WJP, DTB back together? I know after that falling out, we kind of, things kind of went to shambles.
Yeah, I know. I got a job and everything.
Got a job and everything? Let's see. I don't know if there's anything else in here. I mean, there's definitely other items you can get that would take you away from where you want to go. Yeah, I also wonder if JP is not going to go back to ice until he finds the big key, which happened to have been in Pendant Mire. Yeah, that Ice Palace GT big key is pretty rough. I think that's more rough than... I think TW is in a better situation overall.
I think so, even if only slightly. Like the biggest thing that's most out of the way for TW is getting to Hype Cave for the pod big.
Yeah. Which...
The thing is that both runners have so many more, like from their perspective, good ideas and good places to go than where we know they need to go. So I think we're just going to have to wait for them to exhaust their own options and see who happens to be done with that first.
Mm-hmm. I still think... I mean, I could definitely see TW finding his way to that Hype Cave connector, especially with Green Pendant in hand. He's going to want to go check Saw's the Green Pendant turn in soonish.
Yeah, that would make the most sense to me.
All right, where are we going next? Is this going to be that thing that I just said for TW, or what? Also, you know, if he goes to the desert area, that does also connect with Hookshot Cave.
It does, yeah. Agony Hill was the other end of it.
Guess we're going into pod. This is unfortunate. He's going to get the Quake Medallion and something else that was in here, but not going to be able to finish this, so this is giving some time back to JP.
The thing I understand this though from TW's perspective is that since he found the back of desert, he doesn't need entrances anymore, right? So you just got to go for density and go for quick items. 3 pod smalls here is going to get him a good number of items. So it makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, JP at 7 crystals. Or 6 crystals, excuse me. 7 would be impressive. JP still needs to find Desert Boss, and he needs to go back to Ice Palace. And there is the rest of his dungeon info, so let's see what he decides to do next. He's gonna check some of the boot stuff he hasn't done yet. If he checks this in the Dark World, he'll find the Big Bomb, which I'm sure he doesn't want to find it. Well, I mean, I'm sure he'd be happy to find it, but it's not going to be useful. That was a pod small. So yeah, I mean, at this point, we just gotta kind of sit back and watch and wait and see when these runners decide to make the decisions they need to win. Gotta say, though, this was a pretty fun race. So far, for sure. Just I don't know. It's really interesting with all the back and forth, especially with all these multiple items showing up. Like the 2 bows, the 2 gloves, all that nonsense was fun.
It's kept us on our toes, and I mean, even to this point at 2 hours, like this race is still like absolutely not decided. So
yeah,
it's been a fun one to watch.
So if TW does manage to get to Hype Cave, get that Fire Rod, and go beat Trinex, and go beat Moth. Moth will give him the Eastern Big, which would send him back to Eastern to go clear that. Then, then just turning Green Pendant, find that connector. JP having a little bit of trouble with this Big Bomb. I don't know if there's any other item caves we're still looking for. We might find, like, the TR Big Chest or something from this.
We could. We still haven't actually seen that. You're right. And what other entrances do we have? I mean, maybe GT entry itself, but like this seems like it's pretty much got to be here, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, hey,
There it
look
is.
what it is.
Aw, a heart.
Nice. More health.
I guess this also works
Alright,
out for JP because he can check the castle tower entrance as well.
Oh, right, he didn't do
which
that.
was just Meyer Shed. But...
Meyer Shed. So, I mean, both runners still... And this is what you have to do. This is, like, one of the hardest things. It goes back to what you were saying just a bit ago, Willer, about, like, planning out your next moves. Like, with CrossKeys 2 hours in, you still need things. You gotta keep moving. And both runners are both getting new info for themselves. So they're doing a good job of that.
Both runners are moving indeed. Let's see if... I want to see what Saha has. Or, oh.
Never mind. Or was he in the light world? I don't...
Yeah, he's in the light world.
Or was he desert left?
He's right there. He's at desert left.
But I mean, this is fine.
He's not turning it in. Right. I just think it's funny.
It is funny.
All right, this is good for JP. He's gonna get his desert. He's gonna do desert right, and then he'll mirror out. He'll do basically the same thing TW did. Yeah.
Yeah. This will be really good for him.
JP is in like probably one of the worst scenarios to be in a CrossKeys. Gomo GT big. It's so bad.
With something else to check now.
It's so bad. Yeah, I'm gonna assume after this that TW will probably go right back and finish pod.
I would think so. So then it's just a question of when does TW get back to Hookshot K for Fire Rod and to the back of Skull for that Eastern big. Like, I will give the seed one thing in that the required items have been like really scattered. There's been no rhyme or reason. There's been no safe places to avoid in hindsight. Like, everything's been really well spread out in the seed, so you gotta be thorough.
And yeah, unfortunately, JP made that Ice Palace dip when he did. Probably because, you know, it's one of those classic, oh man, I'll use my bombos to get my fire out of Ice Palace. But of course, that did not pay off. And yeah, it was so tough to make that decision to want to go back into Ice Palace after you've already been there. So yeah, this is a trip back to pod for TW. Oh, TW did clear TR or desert. So did JP. Okay. All right. Well, 7 crystals for JP.
What other way to cap off any sort of key sanity is just by still looking for this. GT big.
Okay. Big time decision now. Where the heck do you go, JP? What's your plan? You just need one more item. One big key. That's it. And you have an entire pendant mire, bits of a green pendant ice, Hera basement and big chest, mushroom turn-in, magic bat, smith chain. I don't think he did smith chain.
No, he didn't. And if he goes back to Hera, then
you'll get its thieves down big.
You get the thieves big. Do you just go right there? Like, honestly, I think yes. So
definitely, in my opinion, one of the worst situations to be in a key sanity mode.
It makes for a very enjoyable watch for a race, but as a runner right now, none of this feels good.
Every second you take not finding that last thing that you need just always feels so painful. Oh, no, JP did not get the sick kid sword. Well, he might get it soon.
He might, right? That was hammer pegs, right?
So this might be smith chain hammer pegs. He's gonna probably do everything he needs to do. Oh, just kidding. Before committing to a pendant dungeon, I think, at this point. It's so hard to decide when to do a pendant dungeon in this mode.
I think there's got to be a certain point where you just forget about the fact that it's a pendant dungeon and you focus on the fact that Meyer is 8 items right now, and you need items.
Gosh, this is such a long walk for Catfish. Oh no.
Just for a cave? That's... Oh, well, I mean, no, but we don't need it, but I don't... It's reminding me, I don't think we've actually seen Spike Cave yet.
Oh yeah, we did find that really early. That was over in, South Kakariko. That's a powder and a dead Helma. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 crystals. 4 TW. When will TW remember Hookshot Cave? Sword check is new too. I mean, at this point, aside from... No, we've seen all the big keys at this point. So unless we get a shuffle, like, that's it. It's about all we can find that hasn't already been found. We do also have the second item in Castle Tower left to check.
That's true.
That was up in the woods.
But we don't actually need to beat Castle Top or anything, right? Lumberjack was his uncle that we just walked into, so no, we're good there. That's just the item.
Nice hammer jump for TW, and that's a full clear of pod. This is looking like a minor play for JP. But, you know, at this point, he still has time. Oh no, the boulder hitting TW. I'm missing the bird. Or, okay.
This is... Oh, he's checking the GT entrance.
Ah!
Okay.
I don't have no idea what this could be.
I'm okay with this.
Did we see...
the hotel, maybe? Have we seen the hotel?
I think we did. Have we seen the TR left entrance?
Yes.
Okay. Have we seen the rare shop?
I don't know. I see a shop and I just walk out, but I don't pay attention to what they have.
Oh, archery game. Sweet.
Hell yeah. New scenic location. Come on.
Oh, baby. Wow, that's quite an entry fee. I mean, 7 crystals, man? It's nuts.
Yeah, but where else can you go for the X99 Dream?
Right?
The one place in Hyrule. Step right up.
Wow, look at this synchronization from these runners. Near sync. Maybe this is the rare shop. I don't know if we've seen it or not. I'm wondering what location TW is still looking for at this point.
In terms of dungeons, he doesn't need any, and I think he knows. Well, no, he hasn't seen Thieves Town. I believe he has all the dungeon info, though, but...
Yeah, he does.
Maybe just in a quest looking for density, Thieves Town being 8 items, hoping to find that. Maybe.
I know he didn't forget where Hookshot Cave was, because he has it marked on his map tracker. So this might actually be... This might be Green Pennant Turn-In, and then Hookshot Cave, if he hopefully remembers. JP's heading into Mire. And at this rate, he'll probably full clear it.
I don't see why you wouldn't at this point.
He will get his silvers.
At this point, you can't really afford to go into a dungeon and not full clear it when you're just looking for that one more thing.
Okay, this is
good. Because that one
for...
item you skipped could be it.
Yeah, exactly. Hookshot out, heading into Hookshot Cave for TW. He's going to get his fire rod, and he's going to be on the path that he needs to beat this seed. All he has left... Yeah, everything he needs is on the way. So this is looking really good for TW.
Relatively. Yeah, I wonder if that Fire Rod also... Because the Fire Rod right this moment is going to let him beat Turtle Rock. And that's... Well, it'll let him beat Skull, too. And that's going to be a crystal to get the Eastern Big Key. So yeah, everything literally is right on the way.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about these Sanity races in general, or, you know, just Rando in general, is that, you know, you and your opponent could have completely different go modes. And someone's go mode might just be better than yours. Like, you get to skip so many more things. And yeah, with the Laser Bridge over in Kakariko and Skullwoods in Village of Outcasts, like these last 2 Crystal Dungeons, he has to get an Eastern over there too.
Eastern's like right here too, yeah. So
Yeah.
like everything's all in such a close proximity right now for TW that this should be a very streamlined finish. And then just a flute to 8 to get back to GT. Probably relatively quick climb. And that's that. TW actually sitting in a very nice position right now because of this.
Okay, the Ice Palace Big here wasn't there? Yeah, it was in the spike chest over here on the right. I don't know, it's because of Meyer's location, I think it'd be really tough to bail out on killing Diddy. To like go do something else. But at this point, I mean, JP's really just got this and like a bunch of one-offs in Ice Palace, so yeah, it's really unfortunate that Ice Palace Dippy did early on kind of shot himself in the foot on that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him for trying it. I think it's actually a really nice check early on when you can get a handful of items from Icebreaker. But just coming out of it with only blue mail really didn't set him on the right path, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because the problem is, like, when you clear out half of a dungeon early on because you can, and even if some of that's in logic, it makes it that much more difficult to decide to come back later on because the value's cut in half.
Exactly. Which is why he's here in Meyer instead of in Ice Palace, especially not having the Ice Palace Big Key, because you know you don't want to force yourself into a potential triple dip. That's no good.
No, I'd be doing the exact same thing as him right now. 8 items in a fresh Meyer, absolutely.
So who knows? Maybe TW missing out on this Fire Rod was kind of a lucky break. Now he's going to lose a little bit of time checking this over here because he's still looking for that Eastern Big. But as soon as he goes and beats Moth, he'll get his go mode. And then still has to do a GT climb after beating Eastern after, well, still a little bit left to go. And, you know, once JP finds the GT Big Key, he just rushes to GT, so if JP immediately goes to Ice Palace next, but he gets the book, and you know he's going to be checking books before. That's so unfortunate. Because you know he's going to check those instead of going to Ice Palace.
I hope this time he doesn't, yeah. But I don't know, you weigh your options. Here's the thing, though, Willard. Ice Palace is that swamp, right?
Yes.
You have to go right by it to get the Bombos tablet. Bombos is right there. He still might check that first and then go right into Ice. That's still a possibility.
True. He might flute over to West Death Mountain, do Ether, then do that. I mean, I'd much rather do that than go like back to Hera or check Castle Tower, one chest. And he's where in GT Big Key or in Ice Palace was it? Was it in the H room?
It was in that H room, which could not do that first time through just because he didn't have
that glove.
So,
well, fortunately, he's got the loadout to get through Vidya pretty quickly. I mean, I'd love it if this somehow managed to time out so that they're both like heading into GT at the same time. But who knows? You know, TW is going to miss out on the silvers, right?
No, TW has silvers.
Oh, he does have them. No, he doesn't.
No, he didn't do Ice Armos. I'm sorry.
So, you know, JP could make up some time.
There's still variances in what the outcome could be, no doubt.
Diddy had a small key to Ganon's. Gets his pendant. TW gets his Eastern Big Key for Go mode.
That is Go mode for TW. So, I mean, the clock is ticking for JP at this point. It is a clear edge for TW at this moment. If JP does go right to Ice, I think that'll swing things, but he needs to go there now.
This might be it. Oh, no. This is back to Ether Tablet? Yeah. Okay.
Back to Ether Tablet. I know that it's tough when you're 2 hours and 15 minutes into this and you're trying to figure out exactly what's the best thing to do. But when you make a decision and you're like, you're going to go right to Bombo's tablet, I'm assuming that's probably what he was thinking because he's going to Ether right now. You got to just stick with it. It's not unfortunately not the right time to change it up mid-play.
All right, TW into Eastern Palace's last crystal dungeon. Just has to get to the back here and kill Armos. Then he'll be heading on over to GT. JP about to check Ether Tablet and hopefully heads on over to Bombos next into Ice Palace, which is located at Swamp Palace entrance, where he'll find his Go Mode GT Big key, right side Ice Palace. Let's see what he does next. Okay. Because, I mean, this could still end up being close.
It could be.
And that's the other thing. TW might be checking. He's going to check extra things looking for those silvers at this point, I'd say.
Right. Between here and the top of GT, though, there's not a whole lot for TW2 checks, so I don't think that the extra time spent checking things is going to really have much of an outcome on, or much of a change in the outcome on this.
Now, I see on his tracker and on mine as well that he has 2 small keys for GT. I would assume he has at least one in his pocket.
I hadn't considered that. He definitely spent the one going on the right side of Tile Room. Perhaps by mistake, I'm not sure, but that kind of put a damper on some things. And then he did wind up going back to the left for Ice Armos, and then mirrored out of there. So there's 2 small keys that you pick up along the way. There's how many key doors on that path? He might have 1 right now in his inventory. Possibly 0. I'm not actually able to count this out right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to see when he gets there. That's 7 crystals for TW. He has all that he needs left to go head to GT and finish out this game. And unfortunately, JP not taking his Bombos check into Ice Palace. Going to go ahead and do Smith Chain first. Which is, at the same time, very reasonable, you know. I feel like if he hadn't ever been in Ice Palace yet, it'd be different, but...
Yeah, I mean, for Key Sanity, there's 8 items between Ice Palace and Mire, and with Icebreaker especially, it's just a faster full clear.
We get a little bit of a high five between the 2 runners. He does not have a small key.
He does not. Oh my. Well, he opened this door, so he can go all the way
He can
right,
get that. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Room, and then kill the mini helmet upstairs, so he's still fine.
That would have been scary.
That's really interesting, though.
Yeah, he did I remember he actually opened this on the right, and, where's JP going? JP never did Tile Room. Well, this is a call right here.
That it is.
Okay, TW. Whatever you do, don't open this key door. Don't do it. Nice little 10 arrow drop from the Gibdos right there.
Yeah, that's a nice present before going upstairs.
Yeah.
You know what? I think checking these is actually totally fine right now, too.
You're right there. You might as well.
Yeah, there could have been silvers. There could have been another GT small. Like, it's fine. But then you get this one. And yeah, mirror back up. Map of Ice Palace. JP, go to Ice Palace.
That's your cue. Fortunately, it's probably a little too late for JP in this race. Man, GT Big Key Go mode is just the worst. I think, yeah, I feel like it was just a situation where everything was kind of working against JP's decisions. Like, really, you know. And it was all probably just because of that Ice Palace dip he did early. Like, you're not gonna want to go back without the big key, but then, of course, the big key's in Mire, so you have to go clear another pendant dungeon.
Yeah.
And TW ended up saving a good chunk of time skipping out on the Vidi fight, despite not being in Go mode yet.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, so much of Rando's skill and so much of competitively racing this game is undeniably luck. And yeah, JP wasn't as lucky as he needed to be in this one. I think what it comes down to. The early ice dip. I mean, like you can have a number of those things in logic and have very required progression there early.
Oh yeah,
on. It was a
reasonable play.
To stop it.
It just worked against him in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, you know, TW could have easily stumbled upon Thieves Town and full cleared that since he had the means to, but because he got that fire out as late as he did, he never had a chance to go check that, and he hit Gomo before he needed to. So, and like at the end of the day, that's just luck. Like, I mean,
that's random.
What are you gonna do? Yep. Like, I lost a race yesterday because my opponent just got a different go mode item that let him go mode more stuff, and he's like, "Oh yeah, where'd you find this dungeon? I never found it." I'm like, that would have been nice. Not do it because I wasted my time doing Hera basement for nothing. You know, that's just part of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you know, JP shouldn't be too hard on himself about this race for sure. It was unfortunate that he missed the boots for an hour compared to his opponent. I'm sure that didn't help him out at all either.
Mm-hmm.
But this is looking
he's gonna get another
purple. Yeah, and this is probably gonna be purple chest down into Ice Palace then, because he's probably done everything else that he can think of, aside from going back to Hera.
Right, which would then send him right into Thieves. So
yeah.
Although, I think if he were gonna do Hera, he would have probably done that before doing this, just because it's kind of in the area. I don't know. I could be totally wrong.
It's funny because it's right next to, you know, Hera was at the Dark World Lumberjack.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would work out perfectly to immediately go into Thieves Town. But yeah, I mean, he might go do that next, but whatever he's gonna do, it's in the Dark World. So let's see what he does next after this. Let's go ahead and switch over to
away, so I don't see this being a nice play.
TW's audio for the rest of this race. He's using vanilla music.
Or maybe.
Do you like vanilla music?
No. Sounds like vanilla music.
Vanilla music's fun.
Vanilla sound effects too.
It's got everything. All the vanillas.
Even vanilla link sprite?
What? Yeah.
I rolled one the other day that I was actually soaking, like, I've got my settings and, like, the blue hearts and the cursor sprite and whatnot. And I'm so used to that I just clicked generate, but apparently, like, my cookies on the side had expired or something, so I rolled the seed and it's just Link, and I'm like, what?
What do I do with this?
Who is this guy? This isn't Zelda.
You're like, I don't remember any of these setups with this character. It's like when, I think it was last season of the League, I actually patched a version of the practice hack with the Homer sprite, so I can practice everything with Homer. I was good to go. I was ready. Or no, that would have been the season before that, because last season was Garfield, I think. Molten 2 down for TW. One last 20 buckaroo. Got a cool $1,800, while JP will be heading into Ice Palace. It's one of those situations where you're telling yourself, like, there's no way. There's no way the GT Big Key would be in here. That's silly. And yet,
you know what? This game is silly.
This game says otherwise. I've got to a point where I need to just start doing the opposite of what I think the game wants me to do sometimes. Or what I think... I need to stop doing what's the best thing in Seeds and just start doing what's the worst and seeing if it starts paying off.
Yeah, I think that one of the hard things with this mode specifically, but this rando in general for racing it, is that, like, all options should be reasonably considered, like, at all times. Like, don't rule something out just because it's a pendant. I mean, if you've got crystals to clear, then yeah, don't go into a pendant, but...
It's so hard not to. There's the big key for JP.
So JP has now hit go mode as well. It's a quick mirror out, quick mirror to the light world, and flute to 8 to get to GT. But he's going to be entering the climb probably about at the time that TW finishes up. Cheese fats.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to feel bad after doing all that and then find it in a dungeon you've already been in. But, you know, it's random. It
honestly,
is what it is.
I'd feel not so great myself. It's very different sitting in this seat than being the one running it, but it's just how this rando goes from time to time. It's just part of racing it.
Okay. Into phase 3, couple slashes away from phase 4, and then we get to see some silverless from TW. He's going to get the information about where that other bow was, which that was in my tower. He's going to be like, don't. Well, he also skipped the pre-Molten 2 chest. So he's like, man, I could have had it. It was right there, but no, it was behind Ice Armos.
Yeah. So,
uh-oh.
Missing torch glitch. Not the end of the world, but we'll see how he rebounds and handles this.
Yeah, fortunately with Gold Sword, you only have to do 12 of these spins, as opposed to like 24 with Master Swords. And yeah, he's got
Fighter Sword.
0.
Really? That sounds free. Let's go.
Yeah, missing torch glitch is kind of unfortunate, but plenty of resources that it's not going to hurt him too much.
Yeah, I mean, this seems like a nice steady rhythm. Even without torch glitch, you're still getting... Generally, if you're still getting 2, I mean, that's what you want. 2 hits per cycle. So, I mean, this is going fine. TW's got a good rhythm on this fight.
Only a couple more spins will do it. Is that it? No. Is this the last one?
Is this it?
No.
No. I haven't been counting. I never count. He explodes when he explodes.
There it is. Okay.
There it is.
GG's. Get your GG's in chat.
Approaching 2.5 hours, an absolute marathon of a seed. Really wacky, really good back and forths on both ends. Really, really fun to watch. GG's for TW, taking first place in this one.
Hold on. Here's your little Triforce. Yay!